Yeah. Now you speak up. Hey, yeah, I paid for the trailer. I might as well get some use out of it, right? Uh, might as well, right? Yeah, I won't subject that to you second time. Well, why not? Hey, I didn't remain muted that time, although I'm sure that there's some out in the audience. Do we have an audience? Anyway, uh, would like to see me remain muted, but my detractors, very few of them, but a few. Yeah, Ryan James. Hopefully, he's not asleep. Where is everybody? I mean, hell, are they in witness protection? What's the deal? Uh, I mean, it's almost Friday. It's almost the weekend. Of course, every day this time of year for me is it's the freaking weekend. I love it. Score, hey, I mean, we're going to try and do some inking tonight. What I'm going to work on, maybe various pieces. I don't know. I need to kind of evaluate a few things, see, if they're ready to take to the printer to get scanned. No rush, but the quicker, the sooner the better. I like to keep people busy, busy, busy. I might work on a sketch card or two, but there's a lot of things that I need to work on. Definitely, you know, enhanced. Uh, I to a certain degree, I almost hate to get started at a deficit, which is I don't have any white. Now when I talk to Vic, he'll be on 4 o'clock shadow. Um, he said put some rubbing alcohol down for the jelly roast, so I've yet to do that. I do have some Doc Martens. Of course, that's applied with a brush. To do some touch ups. I kind of got jiggy on the cover a little bit, and I need to cover up a few things on it. And I might do that tonight. That's what really needs to happen after my last inking session on it. Although I have other pieces, and these small pieces are kind of neat to work on because they're smaller and uh, you know I don't know how to fix certain things. I mean, when they're drawn wrong. No aspersions, and it's easy to do when you don't have a model sheet to go by, and even model sheets can be wrong. And I mean, I scrutinized one model sheet Vic did for me, and yeah, there's some inconsistencies, and on a model sheet there shouldn't be any inconsistencies. Sea Demon, I've talked to Vic about this. He's probably the most, and he's doing a model sheet for me. He already has it fully penciled, I think. Um, like the blade here is the blade is supposed to be on the outside of the arm. Okay. So if I have this down at the side, I'm not going to be bumping into it. It's going to be flaring out away from me. So elbow side, right? So that slashing, blocking. So I think I repenciled. I'm not sure. It really doesn't matter. The blade here, I think I must have widened it out. What was existing, I don't know, but I put it on the correct, because he's like this with his arm, where you're seeing the under part of his arm. easy to get the get mixed up, especially for me. This is on the top of the arm. That's incorrect. How do I correct it? I don't white out. I mean, it would be on pinky side, so it would be right here. You would be seeing that, but then that's kind of a strange. I guess just kind of straight on blade. It's a strange uh posture, if you know where the blades are. Not that he would never do that. It's just not the best camera angle, right? Photogenic thing. Uh, so, Sea Demon's blades are probably the worst. Uh, again, here's another one. I think I redrew this on here or added one that needed to be there that wasn't there. I don't know. I work on these and then don't work on them for a while and then come back and work on them. So I know it whited out the elbow here. The again, just a weird, even though it's like this, not that it would never be like that, but it's just there's better. And there's really not a fin here. I don't know. These are the things that stymie me. It's like I just want to sit down and ink. I don't want to necessarily redraw what's. But I guess that's part of the job, right? In some cases. So uh there's some of these that probably I could call finished. Like Lady of the Night here. I darkened some of the blacks on black areas. This was in the ash can. Uh wasn't much to be done with it. I blackened some of the ink so they'd be true black. Did some cleanup, straighten up the lines and things like that. I think we could call this one done. I need to put this in start me a pile to send to be rescanned. Uh, Still has some work to do on most of these. There's a couple that I haven't done anything to. They're just raw pencils. Uh, I've got enough to work on without things that are partially inked, you know, or that need to be, in my opinion, spruced up a little bit. It's a little tightened up. Or things that were a little bit sloppily done or in quick or not finished like the pattern here on his leg. I just need to come down further with that. Again, like Sea Demon here, fin on the calf, not correct. It's supposed to be on the outside of the leg, just like the outside of the arm. Uh, Again, here on top of the arm, not supposed to be on top of the arm. It's supposed to be on the outside of the arm. This is correct. This is not. So, I don't know. It's more work than I want to do. Let's put it that way. Did I do anything to this? Probably. I think I did a little bit. Straightening of a line or two. maybe not. I think that one's probably that's Lady of the Night, modern Lady of the Night. So we probably say both Ladies of the Night. Yeah, I think just kind of have to look over some of this and go, okay, that's this is pretty much done. This bog here, you could certainly go further with it. Uh, Welcome, Ryan James.
Buddy, what's happening?
Oh, just going through some stuff here,
I
waiting on you.
was just finishing up my daughter's homework and ready to hit it. Just give me one.
How dare you? How dare you do her homework for her? Is that allowed? Or were you just helping her with it? Cross Comics in the house. Hey, Cross. Dan Pleagle. Evening. Evening, Dan. So should I just white out the foot that is incorrectly drawn, Ryan, and just let it dry and then ink over it? What the hell? Redraw it?
Yeah, I used to be weird about that, but um, I was like, you know what? Like, I make mistakes. I'm not like the best inker ever. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I don't like it, and some of the whiteout, especially that Posca POSCA.
No, I did a great job on the inking. It's drawn wrong. You can't have a kneecap here and then the foot totally turns sideways.
Oh yeah, whatever the reason may be, I totally down with the whiteout. I use it all the time now. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like,
All right. Well, I'll start with this one because all he needs is his foot. I mean, you might think, because you tell me light source, and I get it. I mean, there's more I could do with it, but uh, you see the foot there. It's sideways and it's got a kneecap in front. There's no way. I mean, yeah, he's kind of a plant, but incorrect. Can't happen.
yeah, like if I don't, the only way I can tell, you can tell if it's got whiteout is on the light box. That's like the only time it's like
Right.
I hate whiteout.
Yeah.
When it's on the light, when I see it through the light box. But
Uh-huh.
other than that, dude, it's fine.
I'm just wanting the anatomy to be correct. I don't want to see somebody see a kneecap in front and the foot's totally turned sideways. That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do your foot that way, I would like to see it.
Have you
Why
seen
not
that?
just draw all your feet backwards? Same difference. It's incorrect.
Have you seen that picture of Captain America that Liefeld drew with like the big chest? Like where he's
Yes.
got
Now
boobs.
that was, wow. Yeah.
I saw a picture of this guy with it's like at New York Comic Con, this weekend or whatever, last
Mm-hmm.
weekend,
Uh-huh.
and he like took a picture with it, it was like under glass, like that original art in the flesh.
Yeah. I mean, that's. Could he not see when he drew that? This is an extremely huge and large uh, chest. Maybe proportionally a little too large. What
Yeah,
do you
but
think?
like it is under glass at the New York Comic Con.
Okay.
There's something to be said for that.
Okay. All right. So what you're telling me is Rob can do no wrong. I got it.
I don't like that image. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's just not my fave, right? I don't
But
have anything against Rob. I really don't.
no, I don't either. Like,
You know.
I really, really liked Rob Liefeld in the early '90s. Like when he was doing the X books, and then when he started Image. You know, like his first like 4 or 5 Youngblood books.
Hmm.
Like I
He's
really, really liked all that stuff. Like still do. Like I think it
he's
looks
yeah
awesome.
he's still doing some a lot of uh covers and things like that from Marvel.
Very few artists can exaggerate and it looks cool,
Right.
and then like make it like this like kind of like it's kind of formulaic, you know,
Hmm.
like where like a kid can kind of understand it, you know.
I'm not. I don't have any problem with exaggerating things, but or or just, oh, it has to be spot on anatomical. But I mean, I'm just saying you can't break the laws of physics. I mean, with anatomy, unless it's like Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. But to make it dynamic, you have to bend anatomy.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, like Campbell does, right? With the thin waist and everything.
Or like let's say you got one of those wooden posable dolls, right? And you drew from that, like they used that as reference. Like everything
Yeah,
would look like incredibly stiff.
right. Yeah.
Like you have to um exaggerate to make it to add like to make it dynamic, you know.
Well, with women, and I think Dan would probably agree with me, just make the boobs bigger. Nobody will notice anything else is off. Boob, Boob Dan says he actually showed off his reference for that drawing, which was a photo of Arnold, and it almost lines up perfectly. Kind of weird. Well, he did have an overly large chest. So maybe he was spot on. But I don't look at Captain America as Arnold Schwarzenegger. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't really like any of his Captain America stuff. Like I thought that whole era was really
yeah, a lot of people
slapped
do.
together.
Yeah, a lot of people do. All right, so the foot is gone, and then I'll just put it in a new one. You know, hopefully that won't show up too bad on a scan, will it? I mean, as long as I keep it thin and it doesn't get too impasto. If I'm going to be doing a lot of whiteout, and there's another one with a foot like that, and I've tried to point that out to Vic. Please, Vic, stop doing that because that's just not correct. So hopefully he'll take my advice and it'll register. Okay, kneecap, foot can't be sideways. It's easy to draw sideways. Get formulaic, like you were saying. Something works once, do it again, again, again. But it's not the most dramatic often. Uh, I get it. 3/4 turn is going to be easier than just sideways, as long as you know the outline of the foot. I get it.
It
Uh,
had a
if I'm
lot of
gonna
style.
if I'm gonna be
And
doing some white out, I'm gonna have to get some water, and I already have something to wipe stuff on. But so let me go get some water, and I guess you're gonna continue on with your cover, right?
I'm working on the window on the cover side on the right side.
And you're
Like that
blowing that up
window.
massively, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
little
This is
areas of it.
way zoomed in.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what we have here. So that's an old. Put that in there. That's a good holder till I get back. I'll be right back. I just unprepared. I admitted it. Oh, I watched the movie while I was waiting on you to.
Mm-hmm. What?
Oh, the one I picked up today, Denial. Good movie. I recommend it.
I haven't heard of it.
It's about a Holocaust denier. I did not know that's what this was about. Thought it might be a comedy. It looks a little stern to be a comedy. It's really a courtroom drama, and something they went to court in 2000, and I do remember some stuff about that. You know, it has some good lines in there. It's not so much about Auschwitz and the what happened and everything. It's about truth. You can certainly say what you want, but that doesn't mean your opinion is fact.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a line from the movie. That's a good line from the movie. That's so true. I mean, when you're talking about the woke crowd, uh, you hear all kinds of comments, and they preach it like gospel, but you know, it's doesn't make it true just because you say it is. So they went to court over that. So it started in 1994. I don't know why she was sued in England. She had to go to an English court, and in England, you're presumed guilty. Yeah, I mean, he he was suing her for defamation, pretty much, of his reputation, for some of the things that she said about him in his book, which weren't lengthy, but and they had to prove that he not only was a racist and was doing this for sort of political or whatever gain, reputational gain, but that he did it on purpose, intent.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that there was a crime intended, but there was intent on his part to commit the crime, and that the burden of proof, of course, was on the defense. She winds up winning. Spoiler: it's all in the news, folks. I knew she was going to win, uh, but wow, I mean, did the Holocaust happen or not? I mean, that's what's kind of on basis here, and they kept it
Mm-hmm.
all about him. They didn't bring any witnesses in. That kept her silence during the thing. Uh, just superbly done and acted, and I would highly recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Denial. I picked it up at Dollar Tree for $1.25. So I
Um,
do recommend it if you get a chance. And I got the Blu-ray and the DVD, and the digital might still be available. I don't know. I'm
I'm
not that.
sure. If the like Auschwitz, like that exact thing, like happened or not, like I'm not sure.
Well, they
Like.
went to Auschwitz in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they explored. In fact, the guy that argues the case stepped on a piece of barbed wire and it went through his shoe, and he brought it home with him, put it on
Mm-hmm.
his desk. Um, but yeah, they treated that like a crime scene. He was saying that there was no gas chambers. There was one of the lines that the dyer says he said that there was more people, there was more women killed in the back seat of Ted Kennedy's car, referring to Chappaquiddick, than there was at Auschwitz. So they put him on trial, or no, he wasn't on trial. He actually, brought the case, against her, and she had the burden of proof, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
And so, totally different court system over there in England, and took a while. Took, you know, years of preparation and took, I don't know, the trial lasted about a month and a half or something. It lasted over a month, I know. Just, I think a little over a month, like 33 days or something like that. But, and the guy defended himself. Uh, Probably not the smartest move. Have you ever had to defend yourself in court? I have.
Have you really?
Well, I couldn't afford a
They tell you
lawyer.
you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I know. I know. But, legally, I knew I was, what it was an old credit card debt
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't run up. My ex-wife did.
Mm-hmm.
She bought the kids some clothes and then skipped town and left me with the bill. Or, see, they could find me. They couldn't find her, so they hit me up for the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And both our names were on the card, so, I owed it. It was just unexpected out of the blue. They'd been trying to get it collected for like 3 years, I think.
Poor Brax.
Yeah, I've seen some hard times around, but thank God I'm past it.
Mm-hmm.
You could argue,
So
well, the kids needed clothes, and it was done without my consent. So if you're
so
going through a divorce, cut the credit cards off, folks. I
but
learned that, so that they
really
don't
quick,
use them and run up debt on you, just like any other deadbeat. Oh, did I say that? Free lawyers want you to lose your case. Yeah, Black Hat says.
um about the like Auschwitz thing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or the Holocaust thing. Like I'm sure like a bunch of like really bad stuff like did go down. You know what I mean? Like no matter whether there were gas chambers or not, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure there were gas chambers somewhere, like just who knows where,
Oh, they were
But
there at Auschwitz. I mean, you
oh,
see that in the court.
so
They had
so
these
you
they had these latticed meshed columns, 4 of them, that they dropped the cyanide crystals down
mm,
from the roof. That's how they did it there at Auschwitz.
mm.
And they also had a delousing place, which is still standing.
um my uncle Pearl, he was in the Baton Death March
Yeah,
and
man, that
and
was
lived.
rough. Yeah,
So
that was
like he
rough.
he came back like 80 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
like his wife wasn't able to see him like for
Of
the
course
first
not. He was
like
80 pounds. When he turned sideways, he looked like a toothpick.
yeah, they wouldn't let her see him until like he like for four like he was like home for 4 months before they let him
Dry
see him.
humor. Dry humor.
So I know like a bunch of so when they I hear like people like denying it or whatever, like people did die, like a lot of people, like that you can count on, right?
Well, I mean, there's so many. Again, did Jesus Christ live? Yes. There's so many eyewitnesses, so much written about him, even by non-Jews or Jewish historians like Josephus and whatnot. The man definitely lived. Okay. I mean, there's more evidence for him than Plato or Socrates. You know. Uh, Same thing about the war. And that's recent. That's only about 80 years away. I mean, the span, one generation, one, lifetime. Maybe a little bit more now. I don't know. I haven't done that math. Yeah, 80, 85 years. I mean, but I think we could all agree it happened. Okay. That's like, what's next? World War II didn't happen. Well, you could say, okay, the Romans didn't conquer most of the existing Western world at one time. I mean, you could argue anything. But, there is evidence. Now, I think there's a lot, quote, of evidence out there that is suspect, okay, especially when it comes to carbon dating and whatnot. Uh, See, they got their little shout out for global warming in the movie. It was very subtle though. At the end of the movie, she makes an argument that Elvis is not alive. Uh, you can say that the polar ice caps are melting. That's what she said, and it's like, are they?
No,
I mean,
They're bigger than
and
ever,
to
dude.
what extent? I love these blanket general statements on a warm day. Maybe some of it is. I mean, but is it to the extent that the global warming? Is it more? I would like to see some hard data from a whole team of people. And if it's so dire, why don't we have teams and teams of people up there now studying the problem? Oh, we already know it. It's settled science. You need to give up billions, if not trillions of dollars to fund this. No, I don't think so. I don't. It's a hoax. Okay. I mean, when it comes, I know the global warming thing is, but now the icebergs. Okay, I'll listen to your arguments. But I don't. When you try and convince me that science is settled, good. Let's sit down. Let's hear it all. Convince me. That's all you got to do. Oh no need for that. It's settled. Okay. Ice takes up more space than water, so if the ice caps melt, it would lower the sea level. Black Cat says. Yeah, makes sense, don't it? How are the?
Yeah.
Think about that one.
Well, okay, like
Yeah.
what's true? Okay, so that's true. Like water expands like when it freezes. But one thing that's weird is like, so if you put like ice in a glass, right, and it melts, like
It will always float.
it'll be that, that same level, like it would like the ice won't make the glass overflow. You know what I mean?
So if it all melts, will it make the sea levels higher? Yes or no?
Mm-mm. No.
Denier.
Yeah,
Denier.
like if you I'm pretty, don't totally quote me on this because I'm not totally positive on this one, but I'm pretty sure. Like, so if like you take a glass and you fill it like half full of like ice water,
Yeah.
right, and then the ice melts, like
Uh,
it'll be half full. Like it won't,
Black Cat said
the water
no.
won't rise.
Yeah. Yeah, and ice floats. I watched a movie that underscored that in the commentary. That was Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, because they have, you know, the the radiation belt catch fire, so it's all like fire in the sky type stuff, and it's melting the ice caps, and there's things hitting the subs, and it's these big icebergs. So in that instance, they have the ice sinking, but that doesn't occur. Okay, ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's buoyant. Whenever you put ice in a cup of water and it's or another beverage and it's sank
Well, like
without being just forced down.
there was this one glacier that that was melting, and it was like receding, and like they were like, yeah, this one's melting or whatever, and they even like put a sign on it, and like that this glacier will be completely melted due to global warming by 2017, and like Obama like did a speech in front of it or one and whatnot, and nobody like remembers like the after the fact is that like a few years ago they took that sign down because like the glacier is like so freaking big now.
Mandela effect. Nobody remembers. Uh, Black Hat has another great observation about that. Icebergs are already 2/3 underwater, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like so if the water rises, it's just going to be maybe that tiny little bit
a
that's sticking
third.
up out of the water, I assume.
They're still selling insurance
If
for
that.
beach front property. Why is that? If if the tides are gonna, and all this, and you can go back and look at their statements. Wrong, 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 wrong. It's but you get some. I've had some British folks on here, and oh no, global warming is. Oh no, climate change. Oh, it's like, wow, man, brainwash. Whatever. I'm not going to argue with you, but you're part of the problem. Sorry, folks. If you believe in global warming, you're part of the problem, a big part, because what that's going to do is that gets them the foot in the door to control everything, your health care, everything. They'll go, no, we've got to save the planet, F the planet, okay? F the planet. The planet will be fine, folks, okay? Tribulation time. Now, when,
not even a planet,
2/3 of the sea dies and blah, 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 and all that happens, yeah, it's going to get real bad, but I don't plan on being around at that time. But regardless, okay? It's like, folks, I like what Rush Limbaugh used to,
even the word planet is a psyop.
There are volcanoes daily giving off tons and tons and tons of carbon gases into the atmosphere. And it's been that way since the dawn of time. And it hasn't destroyed the planet yet. You think your little muffler is gonna, and your combination? And if so, why aren't we going after developing countries like China, or Russia? They're more polluters than what we are. We're fighting with one arm tied behind our backs. That does not make any sense. But it's the Biden year. So what, but this was before he even came in. But the 2/3 that's underwater will shrink when it melts. Black Hat says. So,
So, all right. That's why it works, right? So, like, it'll shrink when it melts. That's why it will be the same level when it's all water again. It won't be the water level won't change.
Did you even notice I was wearing my Octogone shirt?
Oh, cool. You know who was wearing their Octogone shirt tonight? Was Mandy. It was cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, she fills it out better than I do.
What?
No rebuff?
Definitely. I sent her.
I'm going to kick him off of here for that. Look at these guns. She ain't got any guns like this. She got the missiles. I'll give you that.
Missiles.
Timothy Olsen in the house. Go check out Melvin 0 and Melvin 3 on Fund My Comic. Yay, this is a cheering stream, he said sarcastically. Cheery. Yeah, we'll get off this. Don't pressure us. Don't peer pressure us. I have to go get a cup of water if I'm going to, do the brush thing. I'll be right back while Ryan draws his penguin. Penguin. Some of you will get it.
I'm going to play music while he's gone.
See, that didn't take long. Yeah, let's see what else we have to correct. Your, your attitude, for one. Moving on. Have a good day today, Ryan.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very busy. I've been working. I was working on this cover, and I don't like to work with the iPad plugged in or like online. You know, like just so like I'm hoping to like not get too much like radiation off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I wear
And
this band here.
and I worked until my iPad was like 10% battery.
Mm-hmm.
And, like so that was a good sesh, you know. And went and picked up my daughter today from school.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much,
Yeah.
but busy, you know, very productive.
Good. I did none of that. Not even close to being productive. But we're here. 6 days left, Timothy Olsen says on his campaign. Uh, Black Hat says the elite want to reduce the population. Yes, they do, and just enough to be their farmers and butlers. It's the first commandment of the Georgia guidelines. They fool people into believing they should be depopped. Yeah.
Isn't it weird? I was just thinking about those two, like literally, like just a second ago. The guidestones. Isn't it
Right.
weird, like how
They
they got destroyed?
they tore down. No, it's not weird at all. You
Like,
know,
who do you think did it? Like, do you think like
how
they
about all those people that took the monuments down?
or like what if like the builders of it did it? Because like I don't know, like the plan has changed. I don't know. But you know, have you seen video of it? Like when it happened, like when it exploded, like
Uh,
supposedly a bomb or a
I,
missile.
uh,
Did you ever
have
see
I
video of it?
seen? If I have, it's not been in a while. Yeah, I mean, they don't. They just don't put that stuff around for people to see.
I happened to catch that video when
Yeah.
that was happening,
Mm-hmm.
and like nobody was around. Like so, if it was a bomb planted, like that guy was not caught on video, and that thing was totally video surveillance 24/7, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they say it was a missile, right?
Could have been, I guess.
You know, like something like
Although
that.
you would think our government would be able to tell us if it was or not, right?
Mm-hmm. And if
Mhm.
you watch the video, it does look like a lightning strike. It
Yeah,
really does.
could be a lightning strike, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it totally looks like it. And, like, and it's so weird. Like, they never talked about it ever again. Like, nobody.
Of course not. How about Hawaii, huh? I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Hmm? How about Hawaii? Hmm? Hmm?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Yeah. It's weird, like, how he who should not be named is,
Who's safe?
you know who
Oh,
okay. One very controversial talk show host, like,
uh,
wouldn't subscribe to um, the direct energy weapon theory.
mm-hmm.
And, like basically like the community like basically like everybody else like made him like admit it, and even though like he did admit it, like he still like never mentioned it again, like
Sure.
never ever mentioned it.
Right.
Like one of the
Why?
very most popular
Why did he admit it?
conspiracy theory.
Peer pressure.
I think he admitted it so he wouldn't like lose credibility with the truthers. I think he's doing a lot of that right now.
You can't have it both ways. Can you? Can you have it both ways, Ryan?
You can't have your cake and eat it too. I know that.
Was that Antoinette? Quote?
No, that was let them eat cake.
I know. So if you have it penciled in borders, should you ink them?
Borders?
If it's just a single shot like this?
You could. Might look cool.
I am.
Maybe do the whole border in black.
Right. That's what I'm doing. Because it's he leaves a margin for printing.
As you do.
I try to. Yes. Have to take that into comp. What kind of border do you like to put when you do it traditionally? Like a quarter of an inch, or huh?
Just depends on the piece.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the lowest you would go? 15th?
No, I would just do it like for aesthetic reason. The border would be just for aesthetic reasons. Like, dimensions wise, I would just draw to the edge.
Right. Knowing some of it's going to get cropped off in print, unless you go full bleed. Right. Don't make this more difficult than it has to be, Ryan. Just a simple question, dude.
Here, here's a good answer. Wait 1 second. I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
What is FEMA planning to do with 7 billion of us? Good question. Huh? Good question. All I can say is I ain't a going. Except for kicking and screaming, maybe. Decisions. Must be made. This one's almost done. Need to get that done so I can stick it on a t-shirt. That'd be pretty dope, I guess. All right. Writing a silver boa story right now. Trying to do the layouts for it. Think about what I want. I mean, I know the premise of the story. Very simple. Ties in with some other stuff that'll come along. Part of it's going to be in the prequel. Part of it'll be in other places, future books. It's all tied in with the Chicago Mafia. So, if you don't know Silver Boa, of course, this is modern day Silver Boa here, but that's him there. And that's him. Sort of there's a retro Silver Boa and a modern day Silver Boa. See, I just don't get this. I don't get this, The body's twerked around. I guess that's correct. It's not like it's a one piece costume. One's a top, one's a bottom. I think about these things, right? Maybe it's easy for me to think about.
Hey, sorry
Yeah,
about
hey,
that.
hey, scared me.
So, um,
Carry
to
on the
answer
show.
your question, like how I do borders, on like physical stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is I use one of these rulers. It's like for sewing, for like embroidery and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I really really like this ruler a lot. And like I would say like any kind of clear ruler that has like a bunch of lines in it is a good one. And like just the best for like making borders and gutters and stuff like that. Like you can line it right up on the edge of your paper really easy. And then you got your inch and your half inch and your quarter inch. It's
So
pretty.
you're not married to anything, right?
No, you don't. You don't need to be, like, as long as you're like if you're on 11 by 17 and you put like a 1 inch border all the way around, you're just reducing the size of it. The
Yeah, I would never do
ratio.
that. I'd never do that much.
You just can reduce your drawing less for
Mm-hmm.
printing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I know what you mean. I guess I could do some smoke white out
And when I
coming out of the
in
pages.
when I was really big into it when I was a kid, like I respected it, like when McFarlane or Protasio or something like that, like where they would like do interesting panels. So
Yeah.
like they didn't have to draw as much, because like their particular styles like took longer. You know what I mean? So like just make it like a really cool design, like where you don't like have to draw as much. And
Yeah.
I always liked that when I was a kid. Like I always respected it. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's tricks
dude.
of the trade.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like
I mean,
when I like see something like especially like in Spider-Man, I'd be like, yeah, dog. Like he got out of that page today like a champ. You know what I mean? Like I was like rooting for him. Like how can you get out of this page? You know what I mean? Like and
John Byrne was the best at it, though. You
make it
saw
super
his
cool.
Alpha Flight Snowbird issue
No.
where
Mm-mm.
he had page after page of nothing but white with the captions because it was snowing,
There you
a
go.
blizzard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Seriously. I
that's
saw
mad
that
props right
one.
there.
Thought, what the, when I bought it,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So you got the balls to do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, he had the balls to do it. Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to be at the champ, though. I mean, for the most consecutive pages that are just white, no artwork, just
Mm-hmm.
dialogue balloons in the
Yeah.
snow.
That takes balls, like
Yeah.
you're the boss when you can do it,
Right.
like the
Right.
the fact that you can do it and get away with it and it's dope, like
Hmm.
that's what's cool about it.
Well, let's see. This is the part of the show when we get quiet. Actually do some work. Yeah, I'm really, some of these incomplete drawings and things like that. I'm really looking at it as a challenge, Ryan. To good practice, right?
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. What else am I going to do? I can figure out what's going on with some of this stuff. Right. Yeah, I got some of these Special K and other little containers, Ryan. Cereal from Mom, and that's actually, pretty good for water, for brushes and stuff.
Okay.
It's not a full thing of water. I don't really need a cup that much. I think I probably need to add a little bit of water to my white out.
I use a jar like that.
Yeah, that'll work. But if I drop this, I won't get glass everywhere.
It's a tough jar.
Tough job?
Tough jar.
Oh, tough jar. Oh, absolutely thick. Yeah. All right. I think that's sufficiently moistened.
I have been doing so much traditional work lately. Like
Mm-hmm.
basically, like I did those. Like I was kind of like doing I was doing like the commissions for you, the 18 sketches for my campaign, this cover, um, commission for Shadowhawk. You know what I mean, like stuff like that. So doing a lot of traditional work,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I switched to digital for coloring
Right.
this, and I must say I enjoy working traditionally more.
Well, I knew you were getting with it. Uh, really enjoying it when you were doing it.
Mm-hmm. It's very satisfying. I like having it like a finished piece.
Mm-hmm.
I like the like risk involved. You know what I mean? It's like it's much harder for me anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to make mistakes digitally, right?
You
Well,
have,
I
you
mean you can make
constantly
a
have to
mistake.
undo
Yeah, you can undo them very quickly. Yeah.
really quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
erase things and change them and
Mm-hmm.
liquefy them, and it makes it super easy.
All right, let's see what else I got to work on here. So I have a couple that are just, penciled. So what should I do with those, Ryan? If you say ink them, oh, which is, I guess that's as valid an answer as any.
Mm-hmm. Well, are they really, really clean pencils?
You be the judge. Here's one of them, fairly complete, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, Not quite like a straight to color piece, you know? What you could do if you wanted is like maybe just like darken the pencils and then go to color a little bit. You don't got to ink everything.
Well, that's true. I mean, I've been wanting to do some pencil pieces. One thing I was doing was lightening some of the totally dark areas that I thought that there would be some light shining, and I was doing that with whiteout. I was doing that with the gel pen when I had it like here on his abdomen, and then I would run my finger over it and lighten it up so it would become like a gray, so that everything's stark white.
Mm-hmm.
Did that some on two tons trunks there a little bit. Started adding a little highlight of the light instead of it
Mm-hmm.
just being, you know, darkened out areas. So basically, the story that I've been working on is called "The Death of Silver Boa."
Mm-hmm. I love that title. It's great.
Yeah, and it's how I introduced the character. Now that'll be retro Silver Boa. He's the one from the 30s, 40s, 50s. Story set in 1959. Of course, you know what happens to him. He dies. But how does he die? You know,
Yeah, Death of Silver Bow. It sort of reminds me of this really cool book that like it was sort of like all about the black goo. You know, like you heard like about black goo.
no, not really.
It's in a lot of movies, like where it turns her eyes black, and like it's like mind control. Yeah, like it's in a lot, like Lucy's a movie, and like a ton of movies it's in,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and um, the that saying like sort of remind. What was it? What was that saying that you said? Um, what did you just say? What was it? What was the last thing you just said?
Let me go watch it on YouTube. I don't know what the
Um,
last thing I said minutes ago was.
it's so like
Oh, Death of Silver Boa. We were talking about the
right.
Death of Silver Boa. Yeah.
So like uh there's this story called John Dies at the End. You ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
So it was this like really wacky, like it was a great novel, and just bizarre. Like it was all about the black goo. And
Mm-hmm.
like the whole gag, or like the whole like thing about it is like that you knew the end of the movie. You knew the end of the story like from the title of it. They ended up making a movie about it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually a trope. Like one guy
Mm-hmm.
that like uses it all the time is Stephen King. Like with Cujo or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you already know the end of the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like basically, and like right at the very beginning of the book, he'll be like, Timmy was talking to Mr. Joe, like, unfortunately, Mr. Joe, is murdered horribly, by the end, in 2 more weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, he'll like tell you exactly like what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the book. You know what I mean? And that's the fun of it. Like, that's actually the fun of it, is like you're like with John dies at the end, like you're like the intrigue, the mystery is like, well, how's he gonna die?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why I really like that title. Like, I love that Civil Boa title. And like I was telling you before, like, it reminds me of Orson Welles as well. Like the Harry Lime and the Third Man, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and like the the old Orson Welles show, like The Third Man. Like, it starts out with like a gunshot, and then it's like, that was the shot that killed Harry Lime, you know. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, you already know he's gonna die. You know what I mean? Like, the suspense of it.
Yep. Yeah, well, and it'll be in a book of like stories that are told in the future, even though it's in 1959, it's his future, not the future, because obviously 1959's already went by. Dave from the Netherlands, Genuine Comics, in the house. Hey, Dave. Good morning, good people, he says.
Morning, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
I'm afraid, Dave.
Daisy,
Please
Daisy.
don't do that, Dave.
Stop, Dave. Stop, Dave. All right, so I've redrawn the foot. What do you think?
The agony of defeat.
What do you think? Bring it down a little.
Brilliant. I think you nailed it, dude.
Oh, I wish you instilled me with confidence, Ryan.
Mhm.
Really do. We'll make it work. Try. Just feel like I'm doing two jobs here. You know what I mean?
Mhm. When you're drawing it, like, imagine it like it's really, really heavy and it's
Right.
pressing into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like pushing
It
into the
has some
earth,
weight to it. Right.
like
I was trying to match it up
anvil.
with the other foot. You know?
Hmm.
I mean, I get it. I mean, if it looks a little wonky, it looks a little wonky.
Just draw smoke like Liefeld, I know he hates like when people say that he doesn't draw feet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is sort of like kind of weird. Like, like, for design purposes, they cover the feet in some of their covers. You know what I mean? It becomes like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really that much of a thing. Very overblown.
I think so. Yeah. So what do you think, man? Going to work on your campaign here pretty soon? I mean, I know you're working on it now. When you get the first, I guess you're pretty much saying it's going to, you know, pretty much get it started, right? From
Yeah,
from just the front cover.
I think I already signed up to fund my comic, and
Yeah,
like basically like you know you build the page and then you send it for and then you just like click like submit, and then like that's when they look at it, and like that's just the same as like any of them, like
yeah.
Indiegogo
You
or
need to
whatever.
stick, have everything you want on there.
The,
Because for every change, they have to look at it again. Whatever you're submitting.
mm-hmm, yeah,
Which I know is not a big deal, but you know, again,
with
it's
every change,
that
huh?
with that. As far as I know, yeah, I believe that's what Luke said.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know if Indiegogo did that, but like
no,
I remember like when um you click submit or whatever, like it'll say um you know you have to wait for approval, and then you can go live on it, you know what I mean? So like there's that, and so um I'm hoping to have this side of the cover done by tomorrow
right,
sometime. So like I would like to, but by the end, by tomorrow evening, like I'm plugging it all in, like all the stuff that I want.
cool.
Um, there's this shop like that's like not too far from me at all, like, and they do like really really cool shirts. And they do
Mm-hmm.
like the all over shirts, like the all over printing, like where like the whole shirt is printed on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like gonna look into that like for the campaign. Like I'm thinking about doing all like shirts that like are completely covered, like all like the neck and the sleeves and all that.
Mm-hmm. We'll get there. We'll get it out.
Hmm. So I'm thinking, because I'll do just one. You know what I mean? Like it's custom shop. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'm thinking about like going over there maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure if I when
That's
I
what
have
I'm
time.
thinking about doing. With on Shopify is doing very limited, if not just one for myself. Or maybe one for Shadow. Whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, they like these shirts. If they're hot, like if they're popular, like
Mm-hmm.
there'll be a limit of 100.
Yeah, people see you wearing it, they'll want one.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh, you know, you,
and it'll be 100 and never ever again. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Shirt will never ever be.
Well,
Yeah.
I think Ethan was not limiting it to that, but some of his early stuff, I'm sure, styles and whatnot. That's why most of them I don't wear. I mean, I think yours is probably the first one I've worn. Bog, yeah, this is Bog, Dave. Trying to work on the foot. That foot, I just don't know. Probably should have turned it out more. It looks stiff, but hell? Well, whatever. I should probably just kick myself and say, "No, I can't. I can't deal with this. It's subpar. I can't do it." But I'm trying to work with what I have. Good practice. I just need to study anatomy more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I do know that there are certain things like kneecap in front. You can't have a turned foot. I do know that much. And I know elbows are just not flat. They. I mean, point the elbow. You got to point the elbow when you bend it, Ryan. You got some point to that thing, or does it just kind of like when you draw elbows? Do you just go flat line? See,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, you can. It doesn't look correct. Size of fingers too. Size of fingers vary too sometimes. I mean, not to be too critical, and maybe I am, but I mean, you look at these fingers. Okay, big fingers, big fingers. Just locked in. Smaller fingers. I don't know the different varying lengths. I mean, what the hell? Oh my god, it's more than I want to do, bro. More than
Bruh.
I want to do. But like I said, good practice, I guess. I guess if I get a certain percentage that I'm happy with, I suppose that's to be expected. But the Silver Boa story, yeah, I mean, he's going to be on a motorcycle chasing these thugs through Chicago traffic. They wind up at a sewage plant. He dies at a sewage plant there in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. What a shitty way to die.
Exactly. See, it lends itself. I will show them that this old fart can still raise a stink. Whatever. It lends itself to jokes. So, and I will have that in there. Uh, should I give away the ending? I mean, not how he dies, which I think is superfluous
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking his great grandfather, the modern day Silver Boa.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be right if he fought crime in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. That had to be his great grandfather, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
If he's a
Yeah,
modern day
like
superhero.
the twist is that the storyteller is him. Well, I don't want to write your own story or ruin it for anything, but like that's the twist. It's like so like when you get to the end, like you go, there's one thing I failed to mention. I'm Harry Lime. You
Well,
know what I mean?
there's not a twist to not. I mean, if you it's a generational thing. I was thinking about this today because Cy Marco, who goes up against Devil Flyer in the prequel in the first story, right? He's part of the Chicago Mafia. Now that goes back a ways, okay? That goes back a long ways in Chicago, at least the 20s, 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we'll get to see Cy Marco's great grandfather back in the late 30s, over the mafia in stories. We'll get to see his son, which this would be his son in 1959, or maybe his grandson by that time, 1959. Uh, very young. blasting away at Silver Boa. Um, so that's on that side. So he's tied in with the Marco family, crime family.
Mm-hmm.
One of the thugs that he's chased down to this sewage plant, which the Marco family owns, by the way. Uh, Good for disposing things of, you know. Uh, uh, but also the Silver Boa, I'm going to have to work his son in there. I think when the paddy wagon comes to get Silver Boa,
Mm-hmm.
his son's there, or when he gets to the hospital, something like that, when they're unloading him, because he's not in great shape, but he doesn't die immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
He busted up. Um, and you know, he asked his son to carry on the tradition of the crime fighting. Should I tell if he does or not?
Sure.
I should. Okay, I'll give it away. There's only 2 people watching. Nobody watches this channel anymore. Anyway, that's dry humor. Uh, Exaggeration. I don't know. It's late. Uh, so the end of the story is him folding up the Silver Boa costume and putting it in a steamer trunk in the attic.
Cool.
So he's not going to carry on the tradition of Silver Boas. Hence, there's a skip between his
Oh.
the modern day Silver Boa, which would be his great grandson, takes up the mantle,
Mm.
whereas his son did not want to take it over, and his son did not want to take it over. Basically,
So he's saving it to never use it again.
well, I mean, he's putting it away, saying, "Sorry, Dad, you know, can't live your life for you. I've had my own life to live, and this just ain't it." You know,
Wasn't he just like throw it out? Yeah. Like whatever,
maybe
dude.
he's waiting on
Whatever,
eBay at
Dad.
that point. It's 1959. He's going to have to wait a while, but
Yeah.
all right, you done blown my ending to the story, Ryan. Just, you know, why doesn't he just, okay, I'll do the Spidey walk away where he just throws it in a tin can and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Spidey Man
difference.
no more.
Well, I mean, you know, that trunk will be revisited, and retooled and whatnot. I mean, his great grandson will eventually find it in the attic, inquire about it, or, you know, make modifications and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the Phantom passing down the legacy through the generations. So we have 2 Silver Bows, and they will be fighting they will be fighting together. Yes, there is time travel, folks. So they will wind up fighting, charging ahead. How good a visual is that? Along with people like Sweet Baby, Bog, you know, Sea Demon, Devil Flower, of course. Uh,
What did you talk about with Mike Barron?
oh, you know, about his books that he has up on Amazon and his latest and greatest. And, you know, does he have car shows up there around where he's at? Does he go to those? And just a number of things. You need to go watch it, Ryan. It was quite good. You know, we were on for a little over an hour with him.
Hmm?
Uh,
Did you talk about the Ripaverse project at all?
you know, I forgot to bring that up, and I had that in my notes, but I forgot to bring that up. No, I didn't bring that up, so we didn't talk about it at all. Talked about a lot of other stuff, but not that. That was probably the one glaring thing that I didn't bring up. You know, new project. Because that guy's got several, you know, I talked about the writing process, you know, how does he kind of massage an ideal,
Mm-hmm.
idea. Oh, I had to get busy too, Ryan. Still all there is to it. I think I'll work on this silver boa. Something I can do to that.
He's definitely a cool character. Probably would be popular if you give him some love.
Yeah, I told you how I came up with the character, right?
No, I don't think so.
No. Uh, in 2017, I believe it was the same year I created Devil Flyer. As a matter of fact, um, I had heard on the radio that on Conception Island, which someone in the chat looked it up later when I first started talking about silver boa, that was in around the Bahamas, little
Mm-hmm.
island, Conception Island. How cool is that, Conception Island? They discovered a silver boa constrictor found only on that one island, apparently. And they had just discovered, and I said, "Ooh, silver boa, that's a great name for a character." So I designed the character with the name silver boa in mind, just the name.
Mm-hmm.
And
Cool name.
that's the way I came up with the character. Usually it's, you know, create a head of a character, and then I get the head of it. I can do a costume. Might not even have the powers in mind. I'm just going for I might have something in mind when I do it. This is going to be an alien. This is going to be a rock creature. This is going to be but sometimes it's just messing around. All right, so I'm going to get inking on this one. So that's how Silver Boa came about. I said that's such a cool name. I have to create a character and copyright that right now. And
You did tell me it, but I totally forgot it. The only part I remembered of it was the Bahamas.
right.
Then I remember telling you that Octogone takes place in the Bahamas.
Mm,
The Earth part, anyway.
mm-hmm.
Have you watched any more of Land of the Lost?
Oh, I watched. I I binged watched the whole thing till I finished it. So I completed the first season. I wouldn't mind going on the second season, uh, and then a third. I enjoyed it more than what I thought. Uh, of course, I've been binge watching Agents of Shield. Have all six seasons of it watched now. Uh, I do not own season 7, so I'm gonna have to buy it on eBay. It was cheaper to buy all 7 seasons together than it did one season. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
There's more than I was wanting to give for it, for sure. I realized the pattern, like the scaling, like the shocker scaling, right, on
Hmm.
him. It has to be right, right? I mean, it has to be symmetrical. Of course, it is cloth, so it's going to have some give to it, right?
Yeah, I'd call it quilting.
Quilting. Yeah, you make it look like a quilt, like it's puffy.
Hmm.
That wasn't the really. It wasn't the. It wasn't a bad look, but it wasn't the intent of it. More like
Hmm.
Captain America's chainmail or something like that, right? Buy them all and sell the ones you don't need. Black Cat says. Speaking
Yeah,
of,
it's a good effect. Like, it's like a really good detail that you can put in, like where like the person will be like, "Oh yeah, like he really put a lot of work into that," you know.
mm-hmm.
And like sometimes, if like your drawing's not that good, like some of that kind of detail can really like pump it up a lot, you know.
You definitely, but it does have to look uniform and look right, or it drives me crazy, drives me nuts.
Got yeah. It's definitely you can't like do it like lazy and sloppy
No, you can't.
or don't do it, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't look right, but that's his costume. So, no cheating. Has to be right. Has to kind of conform to the musculature. I mean, it's easy just to do a grid, but there's actual three-dimensional volume under that fabric, right? So there can be a little variance in the line, but not a lot. I mean, it has to make sense, and Vic doesn't take the time to think about such things. He's just like laying it in there. Now he might when he inks, but not always. So, and with this pattern, you have to go the grid. You have to go over it twice, one way in one direction, one in the other.
Is Vic still working on some stuff for you?
Yeah, he'll be on tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Uh, he's I paid for sequential pages last year, so that was one of the first things I did, right? Because it's like, yeah, I got to get Devil Flyer #1 out. That was my thought, right? So I'm having artists work for me for the very first time, and um, uh, those lines a little close. Spread them out over the bicep here. Change the angle lines. So, I paid him for sequential pages, and I thought, well, I can definitely use the story um, if the pages are already paid for. So, and he really wanted to do Silver Boa last year. Was really when he first drew the character from designs, which I have up on Instagram, few a few of the drawings I did of Silver Boa when I was developing him. He went from there and did his uh, drawings, and so I thought, that's one way to get started on Momentum Future Visions. Thinking about, I'd like Tank Ferret to do the story, because I really like his stuff. But if he can't do it, I'll probably give it to you. 2 or 3 page story that we talked about earlier months ago with.
Do you know how Tank is feeling?
He's doing better. He's getting back to work slowly but surely. So he's got a couple of things he's done for me. So he's got a couple completed, and he's got 2 he's supposed to be working on. And then he needs to mail those to me. No way he can send me a file. On that stuff, so he's mailing the traditional stuff here when he gets it done.
Well, that's cool that you get all the originals.
Yep, absolutely.
That's part of the deal.
Yep. And the Cy Marco piece that he did for me will be up on the campaign, which I took that to her. I thought she already had it scanned. She said no. But she's done a lot of scanning for me. And maybe I hadn't taken it to her yet. So she's going to get that scanned. And then the Killer Clown that Vic did, that's going to be a trading card. So she should have sent those to you, Ryan. I told her to. Did you not get those pictures from her for the campaign? You didn't?
No.
You didn't? You didn't get anything from Pack Mail?
I'll double check.
Okay. If you didn't check in earlier today, that's going to be Ryan's new dog that he's going to get next week. Isn't that a sweet picture?
I want to name him Zorro.
Yeah. Well,
he's a rough collie.
Is that what they call it? A rough collie? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he look like Lassie, kind of.
Oh yeah.
And he's kind of a big boy. He's like 80 pounds.
Wow.
Like because my dog got eaten by coyotes, so we're getting a bigger one.
No need to
we have a
relive it.
Labrador, but she's old and she didn't hear it.
Right.
So I want to name him Zorro, like the defender of our hill,
defender of the clan,
of the oppressed, of our California, the defender of our California hill.
Right.
Like Zorro, like and then kind of like old Disney TV shows, like Lassie, like Zorro's sort of like in that era.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing, dude. I don't have anything from
Okay.
from anybody.
That doesn't surprise me. Okay. That does not surprise
I just have this.
Yeah. Is that the one with the lettering at the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is. Okay. He hasn't gotten back with me on what he thought about the lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Those were all my choices. So, except, I mean, the Devil Flyer logo was designed by John. And then another John Dillard, took it and put it all on one line. And I requested this sort of fancy prequel lettering, and then I wanted something. And you're saying that's not a good mix, but I like it. So, but I
So
has
not so for like the reasons I said, and that like about the serif and the sans serif mixed
right,
together on the same page,
yeah,
and then two, like another thing that now I'm like noticing as it's on my tablet through my phone is
uh-huh.
like, okay, like watch, I'm gonna back up my phone. Wait, hold on. I mean my camera, whatever. Okay, like that from there, like that lettering is completely gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want it too big, too intrusive. It's there, but it's not. I mean, in the prequel, yeah, it disappears. That doesn't bother me because it's in white over
Okay.
black.
And then it's also like right over this guy's face.
What?
Or does he have a
Cortex's
face?
brain. Yeah.
Oh,
It doesn't cover up much.
no.
Just part of his brain. I'm like you, though. I like the cinders, because you see plenty of what I call burst through covers, but this one's he's bursting through and it's actually catching fire.
Even from here, like that's almost completely impossible to read.
Right. Well, I did it to kind of balance it out, but it doesn't have to be so intrusive that it covers up a lot of stuff. I mean,
It covers up that guy.
not by much, just part of his lower brain stem, right?
I don't know.
No, you don't know. It's too intrusive. Got the A right there in the medulla oblongata. Looks like he might have blasted his way out with the trident, huh? Blew the hole and now it's kind of on fire.
Mm,
Mm, uh, don't overthink it, Ryan. Just go with it. I'll see what Xevious thinks about it. I mean, it's been too long. Actually, gosh, let's see. That would have been 1985 when I was doing lettering, because that was one of the first things I took in graphic design.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, the whites and you never mix these. And yeah, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about that. That's been almost 40 years, like 38 years ago or so. It's a long time, Ryan.
Like this area, it looks like this area right here,
Yes.
right there. Like that would be like probably the best spot to put it. The saga begins.
Over the trident?
Probably, or another option is like, can I know that there's more to this image. Like you could like zoom out a little and like and have the whole of have the entire whole showing, and then like have this on the wall or whatever it is, like the paper. You know what I mean?
You don't
Like
like it, do
have
you?
like
You're not going to buy my
this
book, are you,
writing
Ryan?
on the paper. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, well, now he completed the trident for a t-shirt. Well, that's the difference in, you and John, and then me interfering, I guess, with my lettering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know that, like, from art school or whatever,
Right. I don't
like
care
that
if that disappears
serif
completely at a distance, to tell you
serif
the
and
truth.
sans serif fonts together, and then
Yeah.
especially like that this is like a literary font, like this is for like newspaper, or not literary,
Yeah.
what's it called,
Well, it's
um
bursting through a page there. So,
media.
yeah. And
So
on the back of this is going to be an old style typewriter.
mhm.
Have you seen that? You probably haven't seen my content page, have you?
Yeah, I've seen that typewriter. It looks
Oh,
cool.
you did? Yeah.
It's a really good drawing, actually.
And then the contents will be like in type, right?
Mhm.
Like old typewriter type. It's two-tone, so it stands out no matter what's behind it. Black Hat says. So how far do you stretch the diamonds? The lines, the intersecting lines. The pattern. It would almost behoove me to get some mesh like this, to see how it really works.
You could photograph it, use it for reference.
Just saying, like his lines just went straight across, which made no sense. So, yeah, you keep that diamond pattern in small areas, but like when it's like stretching over his shoulder, yeah, you have to keep the two same directions somewhat while molding it around. And seem like the diamonds are getting larger and larger over his shoulder there, Ryan. Much larger.
Yeah, it's tough. Like you got to follow the contour of the arm and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And then, add that quilted pattern or whatever to it, right?
hmm But like that's like
Somewhat.
a good way to like give it dimensionality.
Oh,
Like
definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah. No
it
doubt
makes it
about
look
that.
more 3D.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Yeah, I like it when like a character has like scales or like Wolverine's arm hair or something like that. Like you can do like the arm hair like super like Sam Keith style. Like make it
Mm-hmm.
part of the shading.
Guarantee you I gave him some elbow on this. Some pointy elbow.
Talk to the elbow
Talk to the elbow. You're not talk to the elbow. You're not worth the hand. That's what I say.
because the hand's gonna slap the shit out of you.
Mm.
That's why you
One,
gotta talk to the elbow.
Mississippi. Two, Mississippi. Three. So much more. All right. It, uh, you know, remaining the lines equal distance apart. Now you could do that with a ruler, right? But you're contouring it around
hmm When you're
something.
drawing the lines to like contour around and like go off in the distance and stuff, try to zoom out. Like look at the whole drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where you'll mess up. Like, so you're zoomed in and you're drawing like these lines that are like going off into the distance or something like that. And like you have nothing to like gauge it on. Like you have to look at everything like while you're doing it so it looks right.
Right.
You're when you're new, like you're zoomed in too much.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm totally sold on the quilted, but I just say, okay, that's the way Ryan draws. Okay, that's the way he interprets it. But another artist may interpret it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to the quilted look. It's definitely different than how anybody's done it before. Uh, but it's not necessarily a bad look. You know, uh, it's just different.
Yeah, it's I guess like probably a really good advantage of like being able to hire different people is um like you can set an artist or whatever to a task of like drawing whatever, and then
Mhm.
like but like there's still like an amount of like context that the artist lacks, so and there's nothing
Right.
they can do, you know what I mean? They're just gonna lack context, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, how do they know exactly what's in your brain?
Right. And that's why you need to get some good model sheets and stuff, right?
Model
Done
sheet. Mm-hmm.
when you have characters to stay on model and to kind of say, okay, this is the character, this is Captain America's shield, this is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
No need to make it up whole cloth. We know what it looks like. I mean, there's some people that wouldn't have to have any reference for Captain America whatsoever. I would. Spider Man, Batman, because they've seen it so many times. They could probably do it from memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not me, but
Yeah, it's a bummer like when uh some of that like comes back, to the artist. Like imagine like, Sam Keith, like I know that like McFarlane got some of this like criticism, like with his like webbing and stuff like that.
right.
And then like imagine like, Sam Keith or whatever, like he's working on Wolverine, and the editor's like, well, I didn't really envision him with like torn up uh outfit. You know what I mean? And then you couldn't like see Sam Keith's like super cool, like the way he does like torn up outfits. You know what I mean? Or like I really didn't envision him to have like all that arm hair. You know what I mean? But if you
Hmm.
shut him down, you know what I mean? Like it's not gonna be as cool. Like if that's really what you want, like if you want less arm hair or whatever, like just hire somebody else. And like just have the foresight to like know that you know he's not going to give you what you want.
Right. Yeah, I definitely try and play the artist's strengths, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I'm going to try and do with the Silver Boa story is play to what I see as Vic's strengths in his artwork and no more, you know, not give him something difficult to that I don't think that he's capable of delivering, you know. I'm, you can ask Vic. I'm all about the simple design. I think the simpler the better, because for one thing, you have to draw it again and again and again and again, right? Someone has to draw it, and if you make it, start with a simple design, and if you want to, I mean, basically, if I was going to do Doomsday, I do a bulky character, right? I do a blank, and then start filling in all the detail, the bones over the eyes, the horns, stuff like that. That can be added later, but basically, it should start with a simple design. Is the way I look at it. The more complex designs and stuff can be laid over the top. It depend. I guess it depends on the character, right, and
Mm-hmm.
what you're drawing. But for the most part, I'm like, yeah, let's do it simple. Pretty simple, pretty simple design. Not anything too complex, because someone's going to have to draw this again and again and again in different poses, in different, crouching, jumping, running. Yeah, I don't even know if this holds up the way I'm doing this, but there you have it. Maybe it makes total sense. I don't know. I think a lot of this pattern will look a lot better once I do the quilting on it, like you said. Where's the light source and
No,
the
you
dark.
are gonna go with quilting.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I have one here. I can show you that. Well, this is just penciled in. Oh, on the cover and on this one, I started. So you can see there. I started with what he had.
Good call. Strong call.
Yeah. On the cover, not looking too bad. Done some more on that. Well, you've seen that. This looks more quilted than anything. Check that out.
Very good.
Yeah.
Looks very three-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. I know Shadowhawk likes retro silver boa. I have nothing against retro silver boa, but modern day silver boa, I mean, that's where the character came from, you know. And then I got with Vic and said we need to do a retro silver boa because I always wanted there to be a silver boa back in the, with the flared out 30s
Hmm.
pants, uh, which made sense, design sense to me because he would be a grappler, he would be a wrestler, and he would hold people with his very strong legs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't need a skin tight suit for that, although he could have that. Um, he would need some give and some ply to that. So I gave him, and plus it was basically an excuse to use to make him look a little retro, even the modern version, with the old stormtrooper pants or because I've seen some military have those type of pants or um, Flash Gordon pants, riding polo pants or whatever they call them.
Sure got a lot of name for those pants, Rex.
I'm sure they do. I'll research that later. I'll get right on that. I haven't done it by now. I'm probably not.
Excuse me, do you have any riding polo pants?
Well, it'd be hard to take a picture of him because he's all dressed in silver.
Hmm.
Even his guns are like 1911, nickelback, I guess, made of nickel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's silver, kind of like Silver Surfer.
Are his bullets silver?
Yes. Well, if I get that done, at least get the story, the Silver Boa story from Vic. Um, that's already paid for. Then the pages, sequential pages from him. Then that'll be one story. That'll be told in the Marvel Future Visions. At least I'll have a start. Besides just concept of the three stories I want to tell in that. And you know, I'm very excited about that book. So you're going to be introduced to some characters for the very first time, but their future selves. And like I said, Silver Bow story is set in the past, but it's his future. So that's kind of a mixture, mixes it up a little bit story wise. Do it not?
I like it. Where do you think this like comic book will land, like in the annals of Comicsgate history?
What comic? The
Devil
prequel?
Flyer.
Oh, oh gosh, brother, I don't know. Uh,
Like, is it going to be the greatest comic book ever?
yeah, let's go with that. It's going to be a good, solid. It's going to be a good, solid. It's going to have a good story arc. It's going to have good overarching, main story, but it's going to have sub stories. If you like group books, you'll like that. I always loved group books. Um, I mean, basically one, it centers around Devil Flyer, but to ward, to stop this evil that he sees coming long before it gets there, he meets other heroes
Mm-hmm.
in this world, and bands them together to fight this great evil. And thanks to you putting in a villain on the back cover, a few villains will be there too. Because if the Earth is destroyed, where are they going to go? So yeah, a few villains. That's something I hadn't considered could join in the fray. I think that would mix it up even more. Be interesting. Uh, who will live and die? Yeah, and one thing about the Silver Boa story is it says, these characters aren't that precious to me. They have a beginning and ending. Some of them will die.
Mm-hmm. Like Silver Boa.
I mean, in issue 6 of Devil Flyer, you've already drawn it. Sea Demon's almost beat to death.
Yep. He does not look happy.
No, he's pretty beat up, and that's the way I wanted him. You know, even his bone blades are going to have to heal after that fight. So, I'm not afraid to rough the fictional characters, folks. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it when you have to kill off a character, but if you have to kill off a character, have a cool way to bring him back and a reason. I don't know. But some people are purists and say he should stay dead once you kill a character off. I don't know that I subscribe to that, but I think in some instances it might be better, you know.
I'm going to go check on my wife really quick.
Okay.
Make sure she doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
She probably needs a little refreshment or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's always good to keep the happy wife, happy life. Just saying.
Yeah.
Would you like to see my quilting? Okay, I've done the
Cool,
model.
dude. Looks good. Very dimensional.
I don't know. I'm when it comes to this, I'm following your lead from your. You just to let you know.
Okay. I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
So if it weren't for you, I had nothing. I already erased this, and I think I can erase this. Have to let it dry. Don't want it to smear. So yeah. And I have, Vic's done a lot of pinup type of stuff for me. So, it only makes sense with that, with the other things that I'm having Ryan do for me or have had, and then Rob Ewing do for me, um, like his sweet baby here, which is going to be on the cover, more than likely, collage cover. Um, this will be, I can take these shots like this and put them on the interior as well on a sort of basically a pinup book. It's a reference book. I have multiple pictures of the characters. The finished piece that Vic did that was in the ash can of this character, Storm Rider. But like this might, there might be multiple pictures, reduced down. Uh, you know, I really like his Geo. I don't want to attack it right now, but this one I've been thinking about. But you know, I'll eventually get to it. There's some that need a lot more work than what that does. That's tight compared to some of this. All right, so let me do some more shading here. Maybe that'll save this from looking totally bad. My plans tomorrow or later this today are to go to the unemployment office. Oh boy. Just to make sure my claim is okay and they have everything they need. Should have already done that. But I, convinced myself I have plenty of time. All right, so all right, so this being dark is I'll figure out what's what here.
Okay, we're all good.
All good. Okay.
I want to scare you.
Yeah. Well, that was yeah. You did. You wanted to do that to me, uh, but it didn't. Thankfully, but it just sounded creepy. Kind of weird. Just saying.
It's not weird.
It's weird.
No, it's not weird.
Yeah. Well, Jason coming in here and saying "I love you" would be weird.
It'll
That would
just
that would
be
be weird.
our little secret.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes it's like I hear the villain in my head as I'm working, and it says, "Abandon all hope for this turning out halfway decent,
Mm.
halfway usable." Abandon all hope. Hmm. Why do I have Blondie, Heart of Glass going on in my head?
I don't know.
Hmm. Great song, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. When I was in junior high, we played that and played that on my request.
What do you think? Is Heart of Glass a better song, or We Got the Beat?
Oh, Heart of Glass. I'm sorry. We got the beat. That's Go Go's, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the
I went to
go-go.
see them in concert.
Really
You
good.
know who opened up for them?
Rolling Stones.
In Excess. Their very first year out. Very first album. Hmm. I just don't know if this looks good. It's crazy.
How was In Excess? Were they good?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked them okay. I mean, uh it was the age of MTV videos, right?
Mm.
Who needs a radio? Just play it in your head.
You get struck for that for humming. Can't hum.
Yeah, on certain songs you could. I mean, they're really anal about certain songs, certain bands, believe it or not.
Mm. I
I
do.
know it's crazy. I don't make up the rules, but they will enforce them.
I have to disagree with you about Heart of Glass being a better song than
I
We Got the
kind
Beat.
of thought that you would because you're the one that brought it up and selected it. We got the beat. We got the beat. Yeah, we got the beat. If that was, yeah, I probably heard them perform that, depending on when that song came out by them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember specifically. Yeah, the diamonds have gotten too big. It has no pattern on the inside of the leg drawn in whatsoever. What the hell? Ooh, whoa. I was in love with her. I was never in love with any of the Go-Go's. Come on. Call me. Oh, hell
Stevie
yeah.
Nicks.
Please call me. I wanted her to call me so bad. Of course, I was in junior high. Okay. I was like 13 years old, all testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. You can't blame a kid for trying, right?
Mm-mm.
At that age. I mean, he's not in control of himself. He's going into his teens and he's starting to lose control. Are you kidding? He's got a long road ahead of you at 13. Probably the one thing that a person needs to do above all else if they're going to be a comic book artist, learn anatomy. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's more to learn, right? Perspective, buildings, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you're going to draw the human form a lot, you need to learn anatomy. You know who's my best friend?
Yeah.
The eraser.
I was telling you, like,
Here I come to say the day. I should do a book called Super Eraser. He
when I
rubs people out. He's kind of an anti-hero.
when I first got
Right.
back into drawing, I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't believe it when I saw Jim Lee erase.
Yeah,
Like,
you were telling me that. Yeah.
that was mind blowing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have the internet, back then, and like to just sit there and like watch Jim Lee draw. You know what I mean? Like that was just like almost impossible,
Yeah. Well,
to be
in
able
your
to
mind,
do.
he didn't ever make mistakes.
And then like in like 2020, when I was like getting back into drawing, I saw one of his videos, like one of his videos that was like a Twitch video on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and he erased, and I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. He uh he erased like pretty much the whole cover, like the person
Mm-hmm.
was like feeling a little indecisive or what, and he's like, oh no dude, like just wasn't good enough, you know what I mean, like this is the long form. It's like, oh yeah, the
Well,
long
he
form.
has. Yeah, I mean, he's the artist, right? And he gets the final say in things. And uh,
Well, I don't know, like it was like,
if it doesn't look right to him,
yeah, it was like that
yeah.
he didn't like something that he drew,
Right.
and I was just like,
I wish I could draw
huh,
that good.
I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like automatic, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he actually doesn't like his own stuff sometimes.
Well, gotta have. There's some people that just need to scrutinize their stuff even more than what they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I think like artists a
I
lot of
don't.
times like
I
that
don't have
hate
that problem.
that hate their own work. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's weird. Like I think like there's a certain like self hate or whatever that they need to get over. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like if you're an artist and you hate your own work,
something's not translating. Okay, the way you're not taking it from here, and that happens to everybody, even Jim Lee. He's not fully seeing it in his head, or he would put it down on paper.
yeah,
He's not visualizing what he really wants. He doesn't know what he wants, that's his mistake. See, otherwise it would be easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Black Cat says Rapture is my favorite Blondie song, and Head Over Heels is my favorite Go Go song.
oh yeah, Head Over Heels is a good song.
The short black haired Go Go was Joan of Arc in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. And I'm one of these that if you can convey something in one line, why use three?
Mm-hmm.
To me, you got to prove to people that you can do certain things, Ryan, before they will ever respect your art.
Yeah,
And there's
true.
so many that will pigeonhole themselves and think, okay, all I have to do is stay over here in my comfort zone. Dude, people are going to see you're staying over in your comfort zone. That's why I like that you're doing my characters, because that is not your that is not just your characters that you're doing, that you're familiar with. You're actually going by somebody else's work, to achieve, you know, you're able to do that. good artists will be able to do what their own IPs and other people's IPs.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put.
Yeah, like one thing when I was a kid that I was always super, super interested in seeing
Mm-hmm.
was how would like a certain artist like figure out this character or whatnot, like, and put it in their style and it looks cool. Like like for instance, like when McFarlane did that Spider-Man issue where X-Force like comes in and he like draws Cable and stuff like that, like that was kind of funky. Like it was like I
Mm-hmm.
don't really like how he draws X-Force, you know what I mean? Like really at all, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And or like how Jim Lee will draw a dog like that's in the scene, you know what I mean, or a dolphin or whatever, you know what I mean. Like how did they figure that out and then put it in their style, like where it's still like cool, you know what I mean? Like they can't just um use reference or something and draw a likeness. Like it's got to be like in that style, like in that formula, like just like with the like that whole like font, argument like we were having. Like it's got to be like it's got to match. You know what I mean?
We're not arguing about fonts. We're
Not arguing, but
discussing.
like disagreeing.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm
But
glad you pointed that out because, like I said, it's been a while since I've done that, and I do, that actually brings back to mind that there are certain fonts that shouldn't be put together. Uh, so, I appreciate that. You pointing that out.
it's stylistic, but it's got to match. So like I think like that's why I like Liefeld so much. Is because like it's very exaggerated, but it's very
Hmm.
consistent. Like
Hmm.
it's
Right.
this formula like throughout, the whole
Uh-huh.
book, and it's very consistent. Like it's
Right.
like
He's consistently bad. Got it. No, I just being humorous there.
mhm.
Uh,
All right, like take like somebody like
there's people
I
that
don't
really
know,
like his stuff. Just saying.
like take like any like classic artist, right? Like
Hmm.
they'll draw things differently, like for whatever mood they're in, you know what I mean. Like they'll switch styles and they'll switch technique, and you know what I mean. And when you're a kid, like it's better to like keep it like in this like sort of like repetitious
Hmm.
way, so it just goes back to like just seeing like how like it's super interesting to see like how different artists will draw different characters, and I agree with you. Like you have to like be able to like bust, like it doesn't have to be every character, you know what I mean. Like some characters, like I don't really like that guy's style with that character, you know what I mean, but you've got to really
Hmm.
nail it on something, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Like where you can draw that character like really cool, and it's because of like your style, that like it lends well,
Yeah. And I think with Silver Boa, that was like something that he, you know, said, this is a cool looking character, the design is sound, and I seem to be able to translate him really well. He looks like a fun character, like drawing. Well, I mean, okay, I'll let you draw him. Uh, we'll do I mean, that's what we had in mind anyway. We'll do a Silver Boa story. And I need a story anyway, told. So we'll do it. We'll get her done.
get her done.
Absolutely, positively.
Yeah, I'm really um looking forward to this dog coming.
Yeah, I know you are.
Like really looking forward to it because like
Hmm.
Dude, I've been a mess, you know? Like my little buddy, you know what I mean?
I know, man. It's it
Like we've been thick as thieves. I mean, he's been right next to me for 6 years now, you know? It's like,
right, and you,
and
like
so
you said,
abruptly, brutally.
expected to have him for. Well, I just hope he didn't. I mean, that he was killed quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
and didn't suffer.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm a firm believer now. I'm not one of those that, oh, all dogs go to heaven. Okay, but
Yeah.
I believe that if Abby passed away tonight, I would see her again. And
Mm-hmm.
and and if I didn't, I didn't. But I believe that there's been so much that the Lord knows that she's so special to me here. Why wouldn't she be there when I get there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I tend to rush, Black Hat. I tend to rush sometimes just to get it done. That's never a good thing. Try and freestyle sometimes when I shouldn't, especially in inking, because inking is like, uh, is you definitely shouldn't uh,
Mm-hmm.
rush an inking, right? Is that mosquito? It better not be a mosquito. It's probably a gnat or something. Something like that. Don't even know if it's a mosquito. It's something. All right. All right. I guess I should pencil this foot in a little bit better. Getting some stuff done, are we, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've just
Good.
got this. See these three windows up here?
Uh, make you big here. Yeah, in the back with the penguins. Yeah,
So this is like half the cover
right. The first half, the front
right
half,
there.
right?
And then
Front half.
on this half, like the last little bit of cleanup I have is right. So it's in one of these windows. So like that window's pretty clean.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's all going to pay off in the end, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of this would be reduced down. I've got to believe where you couldn't see it, but you would know. I mean, you absolutely can look at that and say, I spent the time on it. It's 99.9% like I want it. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully you'd say 100%, but there's always something there, right? That
Yeah. So you
doesn't
see
seem.
like see this window's like completely undone, and then like that window's done,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't even
Yeah,
treated
I
that
mean,
yet.
you put more back in there than what I thought you were going to.
Right? It'll be the
Mm-hmm.
whole. It'll be all the city, where they live, the
Mm-hmm.
Courant, the city of Courant, the school of Courant. There's the page break right there. That line. So very close, dude. Like literally almost done.
Cool. Very cool.
With half. Almost done with that one half. But that's good enough. Like so I'm gonna do the one half. I'm gonna go get my all around shirt prototype tomorrow. I think I'll be able to do that tomorrow. And just order it. You're like, I'll be able to order it tomorrow. And um
Well, how much they charging you for something like that? Is that online or is that a local place?
Uh,
Local
it
place?
it's local, but I live in LA. You know what I mean? Like, so I've got
Right.
like everything,
Right.
everything. Like, I'm very fortunate,
Mm-hmm.
for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's not far, and like the place reminds me of this place that I went to on the Las Vegas Strip one time, and it's like this crazy cool like custom clothing store, and they've just got like just everything, like all their designs like covering all the walls, and
Mm-hmm.
they they use a type of heat transfer on like lycra fabrics that like the
Are
like
they breathable?
polyester.
They
Yeah,
fairly breathable?
very breathable,
Yeah.
very breathable. It doesn't work on cotton actually. Like you can't do
Mm-hmm.
like those all over patterns on cotton shirts. Like it has to
Uh-huh.
be like those like plasticky kind of shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But I like them, like athleticy type. Um, and you can get them like really high quality, and like those are the ones that like take the transfer. And it's a super soft shirt. Like love them.
Yeah, I like that super soft stuff for sure.
And they just like they print like these big giant transfers, and they just press it. It's like this big, just like hot iron press. That and they like there's like a little bit of trim. Because then they'll go all around the collar and all around the sleeves, and it's super cool. You know what it like here it's used for a lot, like, believe it or not, soccer jerseys.
Yeah, I bet it would be. Yeah.
So like it's just so like imagine a soccer jersey. Like that's like a perfect example. You know what I mean? Like it's like that type of material, and it's like printed, like, and then the whole thing is printed on. You know what I mean? Like if it's got stripes and designs and whatever, like the collars, the sleeves, like it's the whole thing is printed on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into pretty soon here doing devil flyer t-shirt.
Mhm.
Looks so cool. I think those are the things that, on campaigns, since, comics are luxury run, that probably are going to sell the best, right? Like I can do tapestries like that bog tapestry, but I don't glow in the dark tapestry, but that's an additional thing.
Mhm.
It's not going to sell that well, I don't
Yes,
think, you know.
absolutely agree. You're absolutely right.
But now a t-shirt, a beanie, or something like that that's functional, I think will do better,
Mhm.
especially t-shirt.
Like on YouTube, I
Hmm.
really like Chuck Dixon's podcast
Hmm.
called Ask Chuck Dixon, I think it's called.
Right. I've seen it. I do subscribe to him. Yeah.
And he was saying the same thing. Like it was about Batman, and it was like, okay, like Batman, or like it was some certain year, but like it sold more mugs. It made more money in mugs, like literally like in like Batman cups, you know, than it did in comic books. Like the Batman mug market made more money than the Batman comic book market that
Wow.
year.
Back in the day.
Well, I don't think it was even that long ago. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
the
okay.
like
And why
not
why do you think that is? Because it's functional. What?
because like the merchandise. You know what I mean? Like you could
Hmm.
sell those mugs like anywhere, right? and they are, and they're sold like everywhere, and like everyone will buy a mug for a gift, for somebody,
Especially
and
around Christmas time.
yeah, right. How many mugs have you bought in somebody? I bought a gajillion mugs for presents,
Right. Hmm.
and like so it was like, Chuck's like, the moral of the story was like it wasn't even like the merchandise that was selling more than the comic books. It was like literally the mugs. You know what I mean? Just the
Hmm.
mugs.
Right.
Yeah, and I used to do like I worked for Warner Brothers for like 12 years, and I was like a lighting board operator for them. Like so, like I would do a lot, and I would do like a lot of their events. Like so, like one of them was like I did this like WB Games event. Like where like all
Hmm.
the big wigs are talking and showing their games and stuff like that.
Hmm.
On the Warner Brothers lot, and like it was right around the time that Wonder Woman had come out, and they were like, "Thank God it's good," because we've got Injustice coming out, and like like it's so like thank God like Wonder Woman's good, because we're gonna be going off of that, and and then they were like, and the moral of the story is, then they were saying that the moral of the story, which ties into like the comic book sales, the WB Games division at the time, I was like maybe 2017, I think,
Hmm.
made more money than everything else that Warner Brothers owned combined.
What, dude?
WB Games. So
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
video games made more than the television. Well, the
I
television they
can see
found
that.
out was upside down. Like CW was in the hole.
Well,
Like they were
gaming's so big.
they owed money, but like the games division, it like makes more money than the movies, the TV, and the comic books and the merchandise combined.
That does not surprise me, really, because gaming's big.
Yeah, like one game beat like what that like one game that was like coming out that year like beats out like all of movies. Like it makes like 300 billion dollars or something like that for one movie.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
The Octogone game. Can you survive the Octagon?
Right? Enter the Octagon.
We all need an IP that's convertible, but I mean that shouldn't be our main concern. But I mean, get to that point, I'll hire people, to pimp it out.
Mm-hmm. To pimp my comic.
No, I can pimp my own comic, but when it comes to other
No, that's
areas, gaming and blah blah blah.
that's Mandy's show. Pimp my comic.
Oh,
Mandy
okay,
and Shane.
all
They,
right.
they like when they show new creators.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Pimp My Comic.
Okay, I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know.
I was on it one time and fell over because I was so hammered. I drank like way too much. I was nervous.
Well, Shane's done that too. Don't feel bad. And knocked his
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla over at the same time,
I
among
know.
other things.
And he like broke. I saw when he broke his transformer. That was so sad.
Yeah. Oh, he dumped his Godzilla in the floor too.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if I watched most of their show tonight. I don't know if they're
He
doing
has
much.
gotten hammered on there before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how much heavy drinking they do anymore.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, they do the ballers, right? Together.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're not the only two on ballers, right?
Mm-mm. Dale,
Dale
Mr.
Keown,
Dale
right.
Keown,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the one and only.
One and only. See, if I could do this right, that's Silver Boa running forward. I could actually probably use this piece on the cover.
It's actually a really pretty darn good drawing, dude. Solid. Looks
Yeah,
good.
but it's not all there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to fill in some blanks. you know, that's the aggravating thing to me. Give me tight pencils, and I'll deliver you something that's halfway confident. Halfway.
So his top arm, the arm that's like thrown up, like up,
Yeah, yeah,
is that going? Is that supposed to be going off into the distance?
yeah. Well, I mean, you tell me. It's pretty
Yeah.
much the same size, right?
Well, yeah, it should be like it should be going off in the distance,
Should be smaller, right?
unless he's lifting his arm way up.
Right.
No, like doesn't really need to be smaller, but like how you'll cheat it
How do you? I mean,
is ink his right arm. So his right arm, his low arm, ink it way heavier.
yeah, give it some weight. Yeah.
So it's like way close. So it looks like it's way closer than the other arm.
Yeah. All right, I got you. I got you, man. I know exactly how to do that too.
You know what I'm saying, dog?
Hey, I'm gonna show you, dog. I'm gonna show you. That's quick fix. Bold strokes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of thinking about that myself, and then it helps cover some of this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do, 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 do.
Do you have Do you ever go to Rumble? Do you ever watch Rumble?
No, not really. Let's see. So, kind of like this, someone, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. And the top too, like kind of like the whole thing. The whole thing should be way thicker than the other arm, you know?
Yeah.
Or not should be, but just like one way you kind of cheat it, you know what I mean? To make it look
Yeah.
closer.
Yep. All right. So, let's see here. Yeah, I get what you mean. I can do thick real quick. Thick as a brick. Like that.
There you go. There you go. Perfect. But make sure you do it to the when you get there. The hand, the wrist, the gun,
Okay.
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it's got to be thicker.
Yeah. That makes sense. Definitely. Yep. I can do some of that right now, dude. Definitely. All that work on the scaling, and you made me cover up most of it. I hate you.
Mm-hmm. You did. You definitely went a little crazier on the bottom than was thinking.
Oh, heavy on the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, okay.
Like I was thinking, just more the line quality than shadow. You know what I mean?
Oh, oh, now he tells me. Son of a
Just
bitch.
more the line weight,
Damn it.
the weight of the
Right,
line
right.
itself.
Shoot, suckers. Now he tells me. Damn it. Now he tells me.
But that's why you got whiteout.
Oh hell! Really? Shit! Don't tell me
I'm not
that.
saying I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying like if you don't
Right.
like it,
Right.
just white it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm really wanting you to get me a, a good white
What do you mean?
pen or something. Well, we discussed it. Went too heavy with it, huh? Got too overzealous with it, huh? Okay.
Oh, you know what? I did get what Dillard showed us. I saw this. Hold on. I saw this at the art store, and I thought, and
Yeah.
Dillard showed us this, and I was like, okay, gonna pick that up.
And what is that? Nail
So,
polish
yeah. So this is Copic Opaque White, and Copic is like that really cool brand like a pen brand,
that does the markers. Yep.
that does
Hmm.
the markers and pens and stuff.
What store did you get that at?
On Michaels,
Okay. We don't have
and
Michaels
Dillard
here,
showed us this like on one of maybe it was on his stream, but I think it was on your stream. He showed us this,
but okay.
and I
Yeah, I
was like,
think he did. Yeah.
"Cha-ching! There it is, bing!" It was like
Okay.
$12. This little bottle was like $12. But I was like, if this is the bomb whiteout and it'll work really good,
Yeah.
gotta
Have
have
you
it. You know?
used any of it yet?
No, I haven't. Like, so I just recently got it, and I've been working on this for so long
Mm-hmm.
that I haven't gotten to use it yet. But I did like open it up and brush a little, on paper just to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice. Like it doesn't crack at all, and it dries smooth, like to where like you just ink right over it, like your pen doesn't like bounce over it. And it just looks normal. You don't I don't know. I don't think there's any shame in it. Like, and not unless you're really, really, really good.
No, I mean I mean, it's all tools of the trade.
You remember back in the '80s, the golfer Lee Trevino?
No, can't say that I do.
No, you didn't really like golf, huh? That much.
No, I don't watch golf. I mean, I know Palmer and Nicholson and some of the, Tiger Woods, but other than that, nah.
He had like he had a really good attitude. He was just like a really, really cool, nice, fun guy. Always smiling and stuff. Like always
Hmm. Oh,
joking.
he wasn't the one with the straw hat, was he? Like cowboy style, whatever. You know
Mm.
that one? No,
Oh no, that's Chichi Rodriguez.
no, he was a white bread man. He was
Oh.
Caucasian. He's not Chi-Chi. Chi. Oh, that's Chi-Chi.
Chichi Rodriguez, he wore a straw hat, and he always like did his putter like a sword, like
Mm-hmm.
Zorro. Like
Mm-hmm.
put his putter in a sheath.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow.
Yeah, Chichi was cool.
Yeah, it seemed like I remember Chi-Chi somewhat.
But Lee Trevino, like he always like had like a really good attitude. Like he was good for like the kids, that would like get upset.
Mhm.
And it was like attributing him to whiteout. You know what I mean? Like there's like no shame in it. You know what I mean? Like
No,
you,
I mean in sequential art, there's really not. I mean, it has to be printable, right?
yeah, I don't know. Like
Whatever makes it more, you know.
like uh like redoing the page, like from scratch, like I think would be like an emergency situation only, you know what I mean? Like
You
it's
told me to
too
do that with one piece. You were like, I just start over. That
no,
was that clown piece with the suspenders. Or
yeah, like I definitely like, but that was not your piece, you know what I mean? Like you would have
right.
like done a little differently or whatever, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you were telling me to, yeah.
But like but just to like redraw, like from scratch like your piece, like that sounds like your
Sometimes
own.
it's better. Did you see my clown that I did?
Hey, that's pretty good, dude.
And I like this one.
That is one tiny little balloon he's got.
It is. Yeah, it's a tiny balloon, like get cheated. Vampire. That didn't turn out too good. The eyes and whatnot. But yeah, I did a few on topicless. There's a bog. I don't know. The clown in the one bog. And yes, the balloon is small. But it's hard to fit a full size balloon on that thing. I mean,
That's a
I
really
guess I
good
could have.
clown.
Huh?
That's a really good clown. That's a really good face.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the one I was happiest, and I wasn't totally happy with it, but it's okay. I'll select a few to use. I'll probably wind up doing a whole bunch, and I'll select the best ones and put them up on the campaign. Which I should be, you know, figuring that out here pretty soon, so I can get it to you. I mean, I'll definitely put this heap one up. That'd be different. The heap and the clown. He's going to have to get these scanned. I think this bog's okay. I like that. That was all right. Usable. Somebody might like that. It's kind of different. Mm. Apex's Sea Demon, he did. Did you see that? And then I inked it and colored it, spot colored it somewhat.
Cool.
Yeah, I said, can I put this up on the campaign? He said, yeah, if I get a percentage of it. I'm like, what the mess?
What an Indian giver, huh?
Well,
Did he give it to you or not?
yeah, yeah. Basically. So
So
it
why
was a,
can't you sell it?
uh, that would cause unraveling of the mind of Apex. So I don't know.
There's some like attachment contract stuff. I think like if you buy like from Sotheby's or something like that, like
Mm-hmm.
if you sell the piece, like the artist gets a commish, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, off a trading card, you're not going to get that much. How desperate are you for money? Oh,
But I know where Apex is coming from too. Like you want like that
I think that one's usable. Maybe.
recognition. It's not really the money, more is like an attaboy.
Well, if I put that up, it's like it would get him some recognition, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I put that up, if I just put this up, it would like, oh, that's Apex Comics. I like Apex Comics. I'd like to have something of his, and I like Rex's characters and whatnot. And
And we could as a society, like as a whole too, like we could benefit more by like a little bit more like of that like kind of barter system. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
like, hey, like I've got this project, like where, like if you're Amish, like everybody, the whole
If
town,
you're
like whatever.
Amish.
If you're Amish,
Uh-huh.
the whole town like helps you like build your barn. You know what I mean? And then like when somebody else has got a barn or whatever, you do that. You go help them. You know what
Right.
I
Oh,
mean?
got you. Yeah. Yeah. The barn raising.
The barn raising.
Right.
Everyone's got to chip in.
Mm-hmm.
And then one guy is really good at, like in our community, like one guy's really good at
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
drawing this character or
Mm-hmm.
inking or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So I could gather these all up, and then you know, which one should I keep? They all sellable, you think? About run out of card holders. Of course, some of these I'm not going to use. I could take these out. I'll just kind of put them in there for protection. So I've still got a few. And I'd probably get all new just for the campaign to put them in so that they wouldn't be scuffed or whatever. These things are old.
When I was little, basketball cards were very popular.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. But they're just not that collectible, dude.
Nowadays, like they're
If it's not a rookie card, then most of those aren't worth jack, unless it's really old. And they disappeared over time
mm-hmm.
or were abused, which was the things back in the 50s.
Cards were cool. Like they were like really cool portable images. Like especially like the Marvel Series 2 cards. Or the
Mm-hmm.
X-Men cards or something. Like totally not needed when you have a phone and the internet.
Here's a couple there that are clear. Yeah, I need to take her some to scan.
Mm-hmm. I don't find cards just like nowadays, like either as an adult or just because of technology, like I find cards absolutely no desirable at all now. But cards are what got me into comics, like the Series 2 cards.
Oh,
And
some
like,
of the cards are great, man.
well, like, it was like those full poses and then like trying to draw Spider-Man, trying to draw Daredevil, you know what I mean? Then it was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need to go to the comic book shop now. I remember using to buy comics at, 7-Eleven or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, a few years later, the Series 2 cards came out, and then I was like, oh, yeah, shops. Okay, gotta go to the shop.
Shop. Yeah. Shop till you drop.
The direct market was such a gift and a curse at the same time,
It was mostly a curse because it did away with the spinner racks, which did away with just random, look what I found,
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah, it's sort of ruined it.
Yeah, I mean it went from just a few places of where you could get everything to nowhere, hardly.
right.
Because
Yeah,
there was
like,
a lot of smaller towns that did not have a comic book shop, and even today there might be one opening up in some places, but you would have to travel, and this. I mean, it was so much work. I mean, it killed comics
mm-hmm.
in the long run, and it didn't take long, you know.
So, like, when I was like 10 years old, like, I got comics at I got comics at 7-Eleven, Weber's newsstand, like it was right next to the Weber's deli, like it was
Mm-hmm.
like a deli, a newsstand right next to the deli, you know, and um Where else? And then like any kind of like liquor store, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, newsstands were everywhere. Like, so yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, it ruined them because they took them all away.
and
They
very quickly,
literally took
very
them all
quickly.
away.
I mean, uh, the direct market, the direct books started coming out in like 1982. By 1986, newsstand and direct, straight to comic book shops, was 50-50. Virtually no difference. In 87, newsstands were already down to 37%. They lost that much gain in like 5 years. 82, 83, 84, 85, 86. Yeah. In
Mm-hmm.
like five years. They'd already lost, what was it? Over 60% of the presence in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Well,
by the late 80s, like 89, 88, 89, we're talking like 10%.
well,
Early
nowadays,
90s, less than 10%.
like
When you get
all
to
the
2000,
collectors,
maybe 1%.
probably even like you, Rex. Like, aren't you like this too? Like, where you like you don't want to buy a book like with a bend in it, right? You're not gonna buy a book that's like
Well,
damaged.
I mean, I get it. On stands, it's a crapshoot. To get there early before some numbnuts bends every freaking copy out there, and you
Yeah,
just have to make do or go around and try and find the best copy. Um,
or just not care,
or
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 just
just
like,
not care, right? I mean, I
or just
tried
like
to, no matter what, get the best copy I could. I mean, who wants to chewed up, half cover off of it, whatever.
it'd be really cool to like just more like foster uh, a ideal, of like just not caring. Like, so what? It's damaged. Like, what do you want it to
Right.
be perfect forever? And then you want to encase it in a piece of plastic where it can never be read again. Like, like that's after taking them out of every single newsstand across America. You know what I mean? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
far do you want to go to where you cannot read that book? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So, I've got 7 cards here that are passable to me. But if you want the best of the best, I would say there's 4 cards here out of 11. If you want the best of the best. And can I do better than this? Yeah. And there's one there that I think's pretty good,
mm-hmm.
fairly decent. Yeah, I enjoyed that denial. I
Yeah,
mean, if I don't care, I know BBC kind of did this based on a true story. Uh, it's PG-13. I mean, basically a courtroom drama. But and I thought it might have been comedy. I didn't know, but for $1.25, I thought Blu-ray, DVD. I'm gonna add it to my collection because I know these British actors here are really good. This is probably a
mm-hmm.
pretty quality thing, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually would watch that again for sure. You know, even knowing how it comes out.
Yeah. I don't think very many people are buying this whole war thing, warmongering propaganda that's going on.
I've caught a little bit about it, but I haven't been focused on that. Um, Yeah, it's a feint. Anything to get your mind off Biden and his son and you know the powers that be. What a shitty job they're doing. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
folks. You know, we wouldn't want to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop or what's going on with him legally or how it implicates the president and the other family members and blah blah blah. We'll just create a rouse and then that way we'll push for the Palestinian state, the two state the solution, which shouldn't be. It won't work.
The Republicans need to pick a speaker like really fast, or the Democrats are going to do it.
Yeah. Well, they don't have the votes to do it. Really, I mean, yeah, they're going to put up their own candidate for sure. Look, the Democrat Party, there needs to be every freaking Democrat, no matter how you feel about the Republicans, needs to be defeated. Period. They've been radicalized. They've been taken over as a party. You can, yeah, but the Republic. I don't want to hear the argument. Okay, if it's got a D by the name, pass it over. Vote your conscience. Not telling anybody, but I will not vote for a Democrat and probably for the rest of my lifetime. Nor there was once I did, and that was for Clinton, and that wasn't for president. That was for governor here in Arkansas, and it was because I thought the Joker that was the Republican. I said, well, and that's before I knew a lot about his shenanigans. I should have probably known better and voted Republican against for
Mm-hmm.
sure. I especially finding out what truly a big douchebag he is. But the other guy was so young running against him. He looked so inexperienced. And I thought, well, at least, and this was Clinton after he had already been in there for 4 years. So I thought, well, at least he knows the lay of the land. This guy looks like he doesn't know that much of anything at all. And it didn't matter. He handily defeated him. So I probably wasn't the only one that thought that, but I still regret that vote to this day. So you have to leave a few blanks. Best you just, if you don't know about the candidates, and that's where I get into trouble mostly. It's not national, but local. Who to vote for local. And that probably has a greater impact, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
State and local, that's all we have control of, folks, and not much of that. That's our last stand. That's our Alamo. That goes, we're gone. They're trying to flip Texas. That ever happens, no party will ever win against the Democrats ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Chicago how they're governed.
Yeah, it'll like
They've made
totally
a mess
happen
of
now
everything. Huh?
because like they brought in like the voters, you know,
Oh, they're good at bringing in the voters.
like the
And
voters that they need to flip it blue.
oh man, they'll go pick you up. They'll pay you. Although that's illegal.
Mm-hmm. They'll
But
buy
we
your
can't let
kid.
that
They'll buy the
get in the
kid
way.
with you.
Huh?
They'll buy the kid with you.
It really pisses me off. The things that
How
they're doing.
satanic it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. No president has ever left anybody behind like he did in Afghanistan. Left all that equipment for China.
Mm-hmm.
God. And we paid for it, folks. We're paying for every, yeah, I push for, oh, Israel. Yeah, we'll give them more money. It's God. They're trying to bankrupt us. We're already there.
Remember in the 80s, like it was United States policy to never negotiate with hostages? Remember that?
Yeah, everything's out the window.
So
I'm
like
surprised
Biden,
China. I'm really
so Biden
surprised.
gave,
You think China has not invaded Taiwan because they're more afraid of international, what the whole world scene and will say? or why have they not taken that big leap yet? You
So
think?
the Chinese, I think, were what I've been hearing, all this time, is they're sort of like not playing ball anymore. Like the globalists have like, built their infrastructure up, you know,
Right.
like by, increasing their basically like sending all our manufacturing there.
Hmm.
But now they don't want to reciprocate. Now they're like, you know, no,
Right.
we're not gonna like promote transgenderism or something. You know what I mean?
And they shouldn't be expected to. That's just crazy. We shouldn't be,
Mhm.
you know,
So like
promoting
right
any
after
of that.
that, like right after like Xi Jinping or like says like I ain't gonna,
Hmm.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Then the media turns on China, and says, oh, like they're just as dangerous as much of as a threat as ISIS, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why the mainstream has problems with China because they're not like they're sort of going back on their deal.
But are they?
Yeah, but are they like? I mean, it's not even the same generation. You know what I mean? It's not even the same people. Like, and it's weird. Like, their kids are like worse. You know what I mean? Like George Soros's kid is like worse. You know what I mean? Like he's more self entitled and more inhumane and more removed from reality.
Look, some of the children, like, yeah, George Soros' son, and some of these prodigy, the seed of the spawn. It's going to be worse than the old people that are in now. Wait till AOC gets in power or somebody like that,
Yeah,
compared to Nan.
right.
We'll be going, remember the good old days when we had Nancy Pelosi? At least she didn't do this.
Mm.
And
Have you
both
ever
of them
found
are
it?
disaster.
Have you ever found it odd that like the left has AOC and the right has Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're like almost the exact same chick. You know what I mean? Just like opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, the left has their pot stirrer and the right has their pot stirrer.
Oh
And
gosh, man. I mean, when do we start to push back? I mean, I'm not keeping up with Green, really. So I don't know what she's done. Some of it, a little bit,
backed
but
McCarthy for one. Like not a like she's done a whole lot, but like this whole um
well,
this
McCarthy
whole
was always on thin ice.
this
You know,
whole this whole issue with the speaker is like really um revealing
Republicans
the
should be
swamp.
in lockstep. They should have a message. They do not. You have a weaker conservative side, and most of them are rhinos, Republicans in name only. And if they're not out and out rhino, they're soft shell turtle. You know, they're they're like the leader of the Senate. He's not going to do anything, and he doesn't want true conservatives in there. Plus, he backs people for the Senate, at least on the Senate side. And I'm sure, some of that money goes to fight even in the House. He doesn't want true conservatives. He wants people that will vote with him, which he's as bad as any of them. He's his money, his wife's whole family is, parents is in the shipping for China. I mean, McConnell is a disaster. But if he hadn't got Trump's endorsement last time, he was down in the polls. He may not have won, and that might have been a good thing. He's been in there
McConnell's
longer
like
than anyone in
McConnell's scary,
politics.
dude. He's had like
He needs to go.
he's had like two basically strokes on live TV.
Three that I know of.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
3 now?
yeah. No, stall out. You're out of here, dude. You know, when that Democrat, he said, well, my concern is, um, General, is that if we get too many troops on the island, that it'll tip over. What the? Talking about Guam. What the? Get rid of him, impeach him. Oh
Mm.
no!
Right. Like he actually thinks like islands are floating.
I don't know what he thinks. I mean, they don't, they look, black, check the mark. You know, this and that, lockstep, check the mark. I mean, that's all that matters. It doesn't, look, the true Uncle Tom's, hello, the racism has always been on the Democrat Party. Just saying. That
I had
offends
to
some people. Unsubscribe because it's the truth. There's a good book out there right now
read Uncle
called The
Tom's Cabin
Democrat
in
Party Hates
high school.
America. Read it. It'll give you the truth. And I haven't read it, but I know it's in there. It's like Prego, you know, little bits of herbs and spices. It's in there. You talk religion and politics, and all of a sudden people don't like you. They say your balloon's too small and things like that. I knew that when I drew it. Maybe he's just trying to short the kid. I don't know. Maybe he was out of helium.
I mean, it was one little,
It's
it's
the
just a little
runt.
balloon. I
It's
don't
the
know.
runt of the litter. I always picked the runt. I like the runt. Or always wanted the runt. I always wanted the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a lot I got going for me, but there's a lot I don't know, Ryan. Just all there is to it.
There are known unknowns,
Mm-hmm.
and there are unknown unknowns.
Okay. Sounds sus to me, but you know, there you have it, folks. Life according to Ryan.
Well, there's things you know you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, and there's things that you don't even know that you don't know.
That you didn't even know that you knew. And had you known it, it's too early in the morning for this crap, Ryan. Don't give me my, don't try and bend my noodle. I don't appreciate it. My noodle's already bent enough as it is. So, like I say, the only thing on my agenda is to go to the unemployment. Oh, and I have a meeting with Vic. And oh, he'll be on the show after we have our meeting. I have to kind of look at this and determine what he owes me and us agree and us kind of go through everything a couple hours before we do the show. Be glad to nail it down.
Well, I hope you can. You know,
Oh, I'm sure we can. You know, I'm
you
sure
don't
we
have to
can.
spend too much time nailing it down.
He's drawing or redrawing just about everything on the list that I haven't received, right? Except for the stuff that was undesignated, which I had almost $300, if not more than that, that was undesignated. And that wasn't counting the money I paid outright just for like 11 sequential pages.
Mm.
Now I started nipping away with that, you know, saying, well, I've already paid you that. I don't have the money, but would you draw this for me? Well, did I receive said drawing? Probably not. So back to 11 sequential pages. He probably owes me about 11 pages, which is more than enough for a short Silver Boa story, right? So,
I listened to this podcast now by Owen Benjamin. Have you heard of him?
mhm. Yeah, I've heard the name. Yeah.
He was like saying, like he had hired this artist to like do stuff for him, and like he was like paying him like basically in advance, you know, like paying him monthly.
That's
like
what
helping,
I was doing. Yeah.
like helping it. Like it was like one guy was like, this guy really needs help. A little bit of stability. Like if we could just like pay him monthly, like that
Right.
would really help him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But basically, like he just
That's
like, he was a very well intentioned, nice guy or whatever. But then
right.
like with the money, like he just partied. You know what I mean? Like and was like doing like too much drugs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he was like basically like more often than not like don't like pay an artist like a bunch of money up front, because they're just like gonna like
Right.
they're gonna party that money away, and then
Right.
you're not gonna, and then it's gonna be like start from scratch.
For the most part, it wasn't all at once with me. It was all year long, But yeah, I get what you mean. I would pay him the majority of my paycheck just as soon as I got it, keep him
Right.
afloat and keep him going and employed and, and
And then
getting my thinking, I'm advancing, I'm getting stuff done, to for future publication.
so then like said artist is like parting that money away, and then basically like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, like you don't have your drawing, and then like or your work, that you were
Mm-hmm.
been paying for.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it gets a situation where he's dug himself a hole, like to where like now he
Well,
needs to
that's
take
basically
another
what happened with
commission.
Vic. Now, what he did with the money is his business, But that's basically what happened with Vic,
Right. So he's got to take another commission just to
right,
pay the bills.
There's something right here. Oh yeah, a lot of that went to bills and whatnot, but I mean,
and you just chalk that up to a big mistake, like, oh, I partied that away. And
yeah, well, all I'm saying is I'm not going to take the hit for it. No way.
And then you've got like some weird drug fueled excuses. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like I heard, I think I might have got the feeling that he was talking shit about me or something. Fuck that guy. I know I owe him some work, but whatever. Fuck him. He's a dick anyway. Like he said something to somebody, and and then they make an excuse.
Right. And then that's where when I like move ahead with the lawsuit, I'm not taking the loss, Ryan. I'll go to court over it,
Yeah, you wouldn't have to take a loss either. You'd represent yourself in small claims.
Yeah. Well, best I just keep my mouth shut.
There's really never any lawyers in small claims court,
Yeah. One way or the other, I'm going to get satisfaction, So I'm trying to work with my artist, because I need the stuff. I need it.
Mm-hmm. You'll just, what you'll have to do? You have to pay to serve him, and then you have to pay to have that person like go to court, like be in court, like say, like identify him, like that's the person.
I got you. I hope it doesn't go that far.
That person's like a couple $100.
At this point, it'd be worth it. Just say, one way or the other, Ryan. One way or the other. What is the choice in the movies? You can go easy. We can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not, at the end of the day, going to be stuck with the check. No way. Because I know exactly what I tried to do for him. And, it just was taken advantage of and shat upon, So,
like in Mandalorian, where he's first. Did you watch the first season of Mandalorian?
No.
Oh, it's really good. If you get a chance.
If it came out on disc, I'd probably get it.
If
but
you
I
get
never
a chance,
saw it on disc. Huh?
See, if you get a chance to watch season 1 of Mandalorian, you should.
I will, but then it goes to shite, right? Pretty
But he
quickly.
like, he holds his blaster, and he's got
Yeah,
his
pay
helmet
on
on.
delivery, or at least pay some earnest money down, a third or a half, whatever you agree. Have a contract,
Hmm.
you know. But we had a verbal contract, and I know that's not worth the paper it's written on. But look, yeah, it wasn't just verbal. A lot of this was done on videos and stuff. I mean, that's fine. We're working through it. We're gonna work through it. Because like you said, Ryan, he's so far behind. He probably what I didn't appreciate, and I've said it before, is that he said, "Well, look, I've given him just about everything." No, no, maybe 20%. No, I don't appreciate that. And then saying, well, you got a lot of $30 drawings from me. I got eight. I got eight out of about 60 pieces. Maybe one $25 drawing or something. I would, more often than not, I'd be paying for 60 or whatever, maybe more. And then he would be running a special for like 25. And I'm like, what the mess? Who felt like they were paying high dollar then? And if I was underpaying him, what were the other people doing? And that's on him. I don't set the prices. So we came to agreement, and I paid that price and paid that price and paid that price. And, he says, eventually you'll get it. Well, you know, that's not what people sign on for, and that's not a good way to do business. So figure it out and correct it, and let's go forward, you know? So, yeah, there's many different ways, but yeah, live and learn. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to get stuck with the bill. And if I have to spend more money to get my pound of flesh, then that's what I'll do with relish. If I have to put every project, Ryan, I have going on the back burner and not publish, yes, I will always deliver once I've launched. Don't get me wrong about that. But if I have to put everything to nail somebody's hide to the wall because they've ripped me off to this point, you don't think that I won't. Just saying.
It's like
And it's nothing personal. It's
like how you're
business.
saying in movies, they say you can do it the easier way, the hard way.
Right.
And in the Mandalorian, he's like, I can bring in warm, or I can bring in cold.
Exactly. I mean, it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. I would be doing if it wasn't him and if it was somebody else, I'd be going after them. You know,
Hmm.
I'm not going to take the hit on this. No way.
So you have 8 of 60 drawings.
No, I was saying that, that's just what I didn't appreciate. He was saying that I had almost everything when he had maybe 20% of it delivered, some of it unfinished, whatever, did blah blah blah. Somewhere in there. Let's say I had 20% of it out of like 60. Uh he was also saying that I had gotten a lot of $25 drawings or $30 drawings. I counted because we had the same list, right? Because I was paying through PayPal. And
Hmm.
I had eight, maybe nine if you count one that was $25. That's not a lot out of 60. So it's
Do you
like,
think,
you
like
were taking advantage of me. You got a lot of work out of me for cheap, was basically what he was saying. It's like,
like
dude, I didn't get
why was
anything delivered
he
to me. How was I ripping you off? I didn't get anything.
why was he so far off? Do you think? Like, why was he thinking that he had almost
Because I
completed?
think he was trying to save face. And I don't want to talk about this, Ryan.
Oh,
especially with him coming on tomorrow.
all right.
But I've said my piece about it, and I've let people know and him know exactly where I stand. So, if you don't, if you don't like the temperature of the water, sorry. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Can't run with the big
I
dogs.
felt the heat on
Stay on the
this.
porch.
This I don't want to deal with this old business. I've been very clear with it. I don't want to deal with it anymore. But I will take it to the nth degree if I have to, you know, because I'm ready to get this thing settled in or out of court. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So many people we don't do work who get the work. So many people who don't do the work who get the work. Yeah. I mean, I mean, look, man, I paid Ryan up front, but you know, I trusted him to be professional enough to deliver. It would have
Mm-hmm.
hurt him a lot more than it would have me if he hadn't come through, you
I
know. And I didn't give him near what I gave other artists, I mean,
he was very tricky because like he gave me the money up front, so then then I felt like I had to like finish it. You know what I mean? I was like, dang man, I can't work on something else. Like he already gave me the money.
yeah, and back to your damn book, which I'm very glad I did. All at the same time, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad I sent you a shirt.
Oh, I am too.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm telling you, man, I'll wear this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I hated to wear it. It's such a collectible, but I really didn't deserve it. And, you know, so nice. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I want a nice shirt on.
if you look at my Twitter, you can see a
I'm
picture
proud
of
to
like
wear it.
Mandy and hers.
Hmm. Mandy won't do it, but I will.
Who
That's
says she
gay,
won't?
Rex. You're gay. Well, I wasted my time tonight. I got a little bit done. But you're
Yeah,
right. I probably did go too heavy on that. We'll probably do some wide out.
I didn't let you stop me from working tonight. I got some good stuff done.
Good. I'm
I should be
glad.
I should be done with that half. I think I definitely should be done with that half tomorrow.
I hope so. So you can get your campaign up.
Yeah.
You know. Look, bro. I'll probably be doing this tomorrow night if you want to. I'll do this every night till we get that thing done.
There you go.
I mean, I've got to get some work done. You do. So we might as well stream.
All right. All right. Well, let's get some sleep so we can actually physically
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Tree, you think I should pay him more?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan's wimping out on me. He's tired after about 3.5 hours. I've just only begun to defile myself.
Mm-hmm. Well,
All
good
right,
luck
dude.
with your defiling and with your meeting tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. Hopefully we'll get it nailed down. I need to go to look this over and put things in
Julio.
order would have helped.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't get to the box. The room was such a mess. I'm like, oh God.
He's
I
a
mean,
hoarder.
look, I'm not organized, but look, man, I there for a couple weeks after my job ended, I was like in a tizzy because I own, there was a couple things I couldn't find for that people had bought off my store for eBay,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking, and I don't rest till I find it or refund their money, which I try not to do, right? Because that doesn't do anybody any good. So, I would be the same way if I owed somebody a commission or blah blah blah. I mean, I've owed CATA commission. She says, so I've got to draw that at some point and send it to her. Yeah, but I think about it. I think about it too much. I don't want to think about it. I want to prune that stuff out of my life, Ryan, where my time is my own. That's the way I like to roll.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if Ryan says, I know we really didn't discuss it, but could I come on tomorrow or could we do a special stream? It's like, absolutely. As long as I'm not doing anything else, you bet.
Yeah.
If I got to go to work, see ya. Got to go. Got to
Or if
clock in.
you're talking to Mike Barron.
Or if I'm talking to Mike Barron, right? I mean, if I've got somebody scheduled like Skits or Mike Barron or, whomever, right? If it's scheduled. Why, did you want to meet Mike Barron? You've already met Mike Barron.
Mm-hmm. Couple times.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we had a pretty good discussion. I'm sorry Shadow had the problem with his audio. But it happens. And it might not have been, it just might have been his speaker, picking up the stuff he was doing in the kitchen. But if you're going to do that, mute yourself, It was a problem because Mike said something. But I don't sweat that stuff. Really.
It's
But
part
when
of
it
his
becomes a
charm.
big, big distraction, and it's like, yeah, I gotta do this. Don't get mad at me. Don't take it personal. He'll get it worked out. I wish I had the money to get him and LZ set up, Maybe after get the prequel launched, take some of that money and we'll do some stuff like that. Have some mobility, financial mobility.
When we're rich.
Yeah, when we're rich. Look, dude, man, $3,000-$4,000. That'll get me on down the road,
It's nothing to shake a
on a
stick at. What?
campaign. Huh?
Nothing to shake a stick at.
No, I mean, it'll help pay for that drawing I want you to do at midnight.
Midnight.
Yeah, I can't wait till you do something with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait to go back to the paper. Traditional.
Yeah. Well, in my mind, your stuff takes precedent. In my mind, Doc Blaylock's stuff takes precedence over mine, If you got your own campaigns, your own books and stuff, I want you working on that. There's no big rush. If there's a big rush, I'll let you know. But I've not done that with any artist, really. Because I'm thinking way ahead, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
What I need today. And some of it is not even that. It's like, because I had
Like
you
a
do the
chess
cover for
master.
6, which isn't going to be out for years. But I got it done. It's in the bag. I know where I'm going now, And I got me a Ryan James wraparound cover. How sweet is that?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. Hey, we made a lot of progress this year. You did a wraparound cover for me. You did a sweet baby for me. What else you do for me? What have you done for me lately? You're gonna do a midnight for me? I think that's about it, but that's enough. You put a lot of work into those pieces. And I appreciate it. And I'm glad,
And
came
I
at a
have
good
to.
time. Huh?
And I've got to start working on my next campaign too. Like not just the black and white campaign, but Octogone
And
number
what's it?
2.
Yeah, Octogone 2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you do. So you're gonna start with the cover, or
With
where are you
number
gonna
2.
start on Octogone 2?
I'm not sure. I think it depends on like exactly like what kind of format like I'm gonna do it in.
Yeah.
But like if I want it to be like how much like sequential artwork I want in it and like how much like pinup work I want in it.
Oh, Aaron Lepresti got back with me.
Cool.
He's just asking me where we're at, and let's just start from the beginning. It's like, yeah, I just wanted to have you on. Guess I better get right back with him, huh? Well, Aaron's up late, isn't he? Or early?
Mm-hmm. Probably early.
Yeah, probably early. I'm glad I was up, to respond to him. If he hadn't already went back to bed or something.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of,
Mm-hmm. Going to
I'm gonna
bed?
hit the hay.
Yeah. Burning down the house. House. Well, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, maybe we'll do this again tomorrow night. I'm
Okay,
foot
cool.
loose and fancy free. My punch
It
card's open.
was a good sesh.
Good. Glad we got something done. And yeah, I like having your expertise and going, yeah, what do you think? Well, it needs a heavier line. I agree. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
I
we'll
like
talk
that.
lots more conspiracy too, because everybody likes that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, till next time. What did we say?
Ciao.
Keep collecting.